Of a pen.
That's not my fucking problem.
Hey, it is not her problem
Anymore. Take a step.
I can't do a stream without a pen.
Step again. Where the fuck
He's panicking.
are all the pens?
Alright, we're live.
What? Where
Yeah, I
are
hit
the
live.
pens?
Yeah, I told you guys I hit live.
Wait,
Yeah,
you
but-
said you
Hello, everyone! It's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another, actually, are we live?
It says live stream offline
So
at
we
the moment.
might not be live. Oh, thank you. Oh, Sharpie, that's gonna do
You might
well.
want to double check your facts.
He's
homie.
being very rude.
Right?
Hey,
I
we
don't know
might
what I
be
did.
live.
I'm
Keep
not-
it chill
What
here.
did I do?
Yeah,
to
we're
deserve
live.
this?
Yeah, we got viewers. What's up, guys?
Why isn't
Guys,
anything loading on
what
my
did I
Great to
do
hear
to
from
deserve
all
this?
of you. Thank you so much for coming by. The first
Oh, yeah,
thing
we're
of 2020, the first video of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't done anything 2020 related. Well, I got called into work on Saturday at the hotel. Sunday and Monday I was in Manhattan for a wake and a funeral. So I have not been doing anything related. But I'm joined by great friends of ours, and we have not done a stream since Jump Festa, so
Which
it's
is
been a
crazy.
while.
It's been like 2 weeks.
We've had
Wow.
it's been a long time. We've had some time to digest Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. And we're all going to go, all five of us are going to go around the table, and we are going to give our thoughts on 7s a little later on, as well as going over our top 5 disappointments from the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS anime. There weren't really that many disappointments for me personally, but I feel like every show you could pick 10
Of course,
pretty
yeah,
easily.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like Arc 5 where I could have done, a much
Yes.
more substantial list. But I feel like the top 5 disappointments is going to be a fun thing to discuss. And hopefully you guys will discuss them as well. And thank you for joining us. Happy New Year to everyone. Hoping to make this 2020 really amazing. We have one more Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the VRAINS, which is going to be our top 5 duels. My top 10 duels is going to come out a little later on this week, hopefully. And then we are going to get back to Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! When Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 starts, which is going to be way in April. So
When you say way, it's 3 months away.
2.5 months.
2.5.
It'll fly
You're
by.
not
So
counting or anything.
hopefully some of you guys will join us
10
for
weeks.
7s. 10 weeks. But
That's not bad.
we'll see. No, it's not. And we're going to talk about 7s a little later on. But first, let's go down the list. Pete is here. Thank you for joining us,
Yeah, thanks,
Pete. Calibro.
How's it going?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Cal.
I'm Nick T. Yeah, sorry.
I'm Kate.
Yeah,
You
so
said
we're,
my name for me. I didn't know what to do.
yeah, we are all happy. Sorry, I know I threw you off. We are all happy to be here. And yeah, I guess we're going to get it started.
Yeah. Oh, before we start, I do want to give a, not sort of a shout out, but an apology to anyone who tried to contact me on Discord. I haven't opened the app in like 2 weeks. So if you've messaged me, I've missed it. I'm sorry. I'll get back on it. It's been really busy with work and the move and a bunch of stuff. So I'll get back to anyone who's messaged me.
You sound like me now, where I don't open apps for like weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Discord
I
being
felt-
one of them.
it
Whenever I
gets
get
hot.
crazy busy, there was a time where like I didn't open that app for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Like it just.
Well, I'm not gonna get that far.
Yeah. Well, you say that now. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. All right. Yeah. So let's kick it off. I guess I'll kick it off because you didn't want to start.
Well, I thought Pete was going to start.
No,
well-
I don't think Pete has much to say.
Well, we'll save Pete for last. But let's get into it. My number 5 is summoning methods. Now, I've already done my top 10, so if you want to see my top 10 disappointments in better detail, you can absolutely do that. It's linked right down below, as well as all the top 10 videos I've done for Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. It's kind of weird to talk about VRAINS this later,
Yeah.
because, like, you go from talking about a show every single week, multiple times a week, to just not talking about it at all. We haven't done a VRAINS-related video in a long time.
That's so true. Wow.
Yeah, so the summoning methods, though, I thought were done pretty poorly. I wish that Arc 5 set the precedent, and I guess we'll see with Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, and that precedent being every summoning method is going to be in the show. I think when you have all of the summoning mechanics integrated with the new summoning mechanic in VRAINS being links, I want to see how a user or how a duelist in the show is going to utilize pendulums to their full potential, is going to utilize synchros to their full potential. We go the whole first season, the whole 46 episodes, without seeing any sign of any other summoning method besides links. And a lot of the duels in the first season were kind of hit or miss, at least action-wise. I wasn't a huge fan of them. We do get the other methods gradually introduced to us, but we go the whole show without ever seeing pendulums.
Yep.
We don't know why, whatever. They're not really going to explain it to us. But I
The
felt
reason
like
doesn't necessarily matter. We just didn't see it.
we just didn't see it.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
I just feel like the way that they did it was just kind of weird because, like, obviously these other mechanics are in the show, so you would think that these duelists are going to use the summoning methods in Season 1. So when you go back and rewatch Season 1, knowing that synchros, XZs, fusions, rituals are all actually in this universe but are not being used in Season 1, it kind of leaves a plot hole in Season 1. Like, why do these characters just not use any extra deck method except links?
Yeah.
I didn't really like it.
I agree.
I remember when Yusaku XZs summoned, I think Soulburner had like a very shocked reaction, like XZ's summoning, and then the very next duel he XZ's summons.
Yeah, so he shouldn't be shocked.
So he had it in his deck the whole time.
Yep.
And so why is he like, you know what I mean? So
I get it.
The summoning mechanics, I was very disappointed by their whole utilization, and that just creeped on my top 5.
Okay.
Fair.
That's
Very
fair.
fair,
Yeah.
actually.
Very fair.
Yeah. What about you?
About what? You want my 5?
Yeah, what's your number 5?
No, number 5, yeah.
All right,
The
my
whole
number.
5.
Oh, you want all of them?
No.
My number 5 was the treatment of my boy Go.
Okay.
I almost put it on the list.
And
Okay.
the reason is I've been probably his biggest critic out of all of us.
Yeah.
The Go's Gotta Go chant.
Definitely.
I started
Although
and-
I will say Pete has been very critical of him as he's gone on too.
Yeah, Pete, really. Stop.
Pete probably reached your point.
By the end.
Yeah.
I just think the way it's almost like it's a disappointment. It's not like he was a bad character, but it was disappointing from his expectation of what his reality was.
Sure.
Like, we walked in and we're like, he's a top 3 main character in the show. He is going to be a key member to the team. He's going to contribute in ways probably that Soulburner ended up doing.
Right.
That's kind of how I envisioned him when we first met him.
He was besides Playmaker, besides Yusaku Fujiki, he was the first character introduced to us.
Yes.
Right.
Before the show started.
Yes.
And he, even in the show, he was the top guy.
Yeah.
Right.
He was the number 1 entertainment duelist or charisma duelist.
Yes.
And he was out there and everybody loved him. He was all the way, he was on top of the world. And he loses. He basically goes insane, turns himself into a robot.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and he had so many different storylines that, sure, they made sense in the sense that he kind of went down a dark path. But he had so many different roles in the show that just, like, and they didn't really connect. Like, to me, he had, like, 6 character arcs, like 6 different storylines about him. And none of them really got like a good ending or a good reason. Like I don't know. To me, I expected so much of him. And that's why he becomes a disappointment for me because he basically what Soulburner did and how Soulburner contributed was my expectation for Go when we started the show.
Sure.
I agree, and it's reasons like that and that disappointment is why like I understand Yute's defense of him so much. Is because it's not the character. They just handled the character so poorly.
Yeah.
A character with so much potential so poorly. And even later on, he had high points, but never really, like, hit his stride again, which he should have. So
Yeah.
it sucks because he's not a bad character, but he was handled so poorly.
Well, a lot of his matchups, too, were just very unfortunate matchups. Because, like, he dueled Playmaker. No one's beating Playmaker.
Right.
He dueled Revolver. Most people are not beating Revolver,
right.
especially given the circumstances of when he dueled him in Season 1.
Exactly.
He got a big win against Earth, but then he duels I at the end, and you know he's not beating
Right,
I.
exactly.
Just,
So
bad
it's
matchups.
unfortunate. It really is.
The best way I could describe it in, like, the way I view things is like an athlete who has all this potential in the world and is constantly riddled with injuries, so he can never get to his full potential.
Right.
So you don't hate the guy, but you're just disappointed that he didn't come to fruition.
Like Carson Wentz.
Eagles fans probably could start feeling that way. in a couple years.
I'm sure you don't.
If David Lewis is in the
No, but-
Soul Exchange music.
But you understand what I mean. by
I
that, right?
do get what you mean. I think I liked Go Onizuka a little more than the average viewer. He made my top 15 characters, which I know he didn't make my top 10, but still, there were a lot of good characters
There was
that I
a
really
lot,
enjoyed
yeah.
in VRAINS. And he didn't do quite enough to get top 10 for me, but I did enjoy Go. He was not on my top 10 disappointments, but Aoi's Aizen actually was, not my top 5. But I understand the rationale for putting him up there.
Sure.
And if he had done what we had maybe thought, he would have probably been in your top 5 characters by the end of the show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If he just got a solid... There were a lot of characters that got shafted in Season 3, and they just got plummeted out of my top 5.
There's
yeah,
there's going to be more in these lists, I bet.
Well, for me too. But Nick T, what's number 5 for you?
Number
What's kicking off your
5,
list?
I don't know how you worded it, because I worded the wasting Miyu. How did you word it here?
I worded it Miyu.
Miyu. Fair. Because
No, that's fair.
how... It really...
I thought about that too.
It really bothered... And I probably maybe... I don't know if I put it too high on the list or what, but it really
you did
bothered
put
me.
Miyu pretty high. You did put him pretty high.
It
Her.
bothered me so much that she was a lost incident victim, and she was intended to be, like it just. I guess it sort of ties into the deeper issue that the lost incident victims really meant nothing in the end, but she was saved, and then we don't even see Aoi visit her in the hospital.
Yeah,
like it's like, oh, this is a big deal. They had so much of a good relationship.
Well, like after the conflict ends, you mean?
After the conflict ends.
Yeah, after the conflict ends.
Yeah, once
because we do have that brief scene where she runs in and they hug each other. But after the actual war ends,
we don't see her once.
We don't even hear about her.
Yeah, like they set up. There was so much potential for a great relationship to be there, like between Aoi and Miyu, and like so much character development for
even Aqua. If you
and for Aqua, exactly. But no, just they don't even show it. And I think it's really. They could have at least shown her in the hospital, and that been the end of it.
It's a little criminal. They made the choice to focus on the Ignis more than the actual lost incident victims, which I would have preferred either a more equal showing off of those two sets of characters, or honestly, I think I would have preferred more narrative on the lost incident victims rather than the Ignis.
Right, yeah, because like you would think that'd be an important those their suffering must have meant something, but it really shows that it doesn't.
And also, the victims. I mean, like the victims were the reason the Ignis existed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they should have been like the Robin to the Batman, the victim being the Batman, and the Ignis being the sidekick. But it wasn't. It was almost more about the Ignis' existence instead of how they became to exist.
Right. I mean, and Wendy is a good example
Wendy's
of that.
kid you don't see. Miyu is off the screen the entire show. You see her once.
Yeah.
And then Jin is just controlled by
Jin is
unconscious
the entire time until the last episode when he's smiling and talking to people at the hot dog stand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean
that's half of them.
I guess
right there.
I could have called this one like waste of lost incident victims, but I specifically focused on Miyu because we don't see her.
No, well, yeah, because she's the most disregard, especially because there was a chance and there was a hope because of how early they brought her existence into play.
Yeah,
that we might see her. She might actually play
a
role
this whole
somewhere.
Thing where it's like, the playground. It's like, I have so much to I owe this girl so much because of how she covered for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then
Yeah, yep. and that also not expanding on her character arc. It hurt Aoi.
Very much.
Yeah, it hurt Aoi as well.
There was kind of
nothing for her to do at the end.
So I think it ties into a few things, and that's why I'm so hurt about it.
Yeah, even a slight mention of Miyu in the last episode, like in the conversation between Kusanagi and Aoi,
there wasn't a mention.
If there was a mention there, Miyu might not even make Nick T's list, because she'll at least be in your head at the end, end of the episode. You know?
But for all intents and purposes, she could have been forgotten, by the audience.
Sure,
of the show.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Well, if those of you who are watching have not figured it out yet, thank you to everyone watching, by the way, and making us a part of your Tuesday wherever you are in the world. Pete is actually not with us.
What?
Believe it or not. If you want to wave your hand, Nick T. Yep, you'll see that he is behind Pete.
Oh my God.
Pete is not actually with us.
I could become Pete.
Yeah.
Hey.
Unfortunately, Pete's not here, but he did give us his list. Hopefully he's doing okay wherever he is. We're not sure why he wasn't able to make it. But at number 5, he's got Playmaker Unbeaten, which is actually something that will be a little later on in my list. Can't really speak too much to it because, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but that was something that was a huge disappointment for me. I think it was a disappointment for a lot of us, and it's not from the perspective of, you just want to see a character lose to lose. No, I want to see a character lose to get development, to actually show struggle, to show, what's next after a loss. And loss is equivalent to death for him, or getting shocked and not being able to eat. So then how does he overcome that in the end? That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, loss should be growth. In every shonen or every most shows, the main character at some point will lose, and he has to learn from that and train and grow.
One of the biggest I feel like main character protagonists in any show, they dig themselves out of a hole. They get knocked down and they get back up, and that's kind of a big thing that you don't get from this.
Yeah,
because Yusaku doesn't ever really get knocked down. He gets put in tough situations.
I think there's a good amount of people that actually believe Pete was there.
I hope they're playing with the.
I hope they're not. I hope they're not.
The thing is frozen.
It's frozen for you, but it's good for us. It's good for you, right?
Now it is. Yeah.
I
went out for 2 minutes.
No, did it? Well, sorry about that. But
I'll refresh.
Oh jeez, I was like, what was that? I thought that was an error message. So yeah, we'll just get right back to it. We'll do 4 and then we'll read some donations. Thank you to do we have any donations?
You have a few, right?
Thank you guys so much. I guess I'll start with 4, unless Nick T, you want to start? Well, Pete's 4 for the record is Miyu and Jin. So that kind of goes back to
It's
what
kind
you
of the
said.
same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
the same-
Pete actually had it high on his list as well.
Yeah, so
he would agree with
he had
you.
it
I
higher
think,
than I did.
I think a lot of people though would, and Jin especially. You know, Miyu and Jin you could actually categorize a little differently because we knew Jin very early on, but Jin.
Yeah, because he was a
He
motive.
kind
from
of gets,
Cooper-
he kind of gets a little closure at the end, but not enough
not
where
enough.
you can say, "Wow, we really feel like." Are you okay? What's wrong?
No, she said, "Are you back on?" But mine's just not loading. My
Oh.
computer's not working.
Oh, your computer froze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the stream's not working on mine.
Uh-oh.
Are we still live on?
Well, it's got to be an issue with the connection.
Might be an issue with the Wi-Fi rather
Yeah.
than the
Oh, let me check
Yeah.
my phone then.
Stream looks good on my
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry
Sorry.
about that.
No,
Sorry.
no worries. Yeah, we like. You're right. It can be seen differently because one, he was a motive for Kusanagi from the beginning. We
Right.
knew who he was. We had seen him, and then we don't even like. Yeah, he lives happily ever after, but like we don't see him as a duelist. We don't see him, and we saw him duel, but we don't see Jin as a duelist, and
Mhm.
I think that's sort of a slight against him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I completely agree. I am going to go my number 4.
You do.
Yeah, you go.
I
Your
want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Spectre in season 3.
Wow.
I have a feeling we'll be talking about that a little more.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much more for me to add. I think everyone says if there's one character that was the biggest letdown of season 3, it's Spectre.
What was his one line?
Was he in?
His
season
one line
three?
was at the end. He
Yeah.
was in season 3.
What did he
say?
His
What
one
did he
line was
say?
at the end where he's like, "Do you think Playmaker will return?"
That's it.
That's the only thing he
That's the only-
says. That's after he loses to Lightning. That is the only line Spectre has the
Because
rest
he
of the show.
appears in the beginning of the season.
He does. He walks up with Ryoken to
And-
torment Yusaku and Homura about how they're going to go after the Ignis.
Yeah, and then we see him. Oh, actually, we don't see him lose off because he loses off screen.
Yeah,
No
loses
words.
off screen. He loses off screen to Eye, no words. And this is like, it's not like it's Gnome or Faust or Vyra. This was an important, integral character to the Knights of Hanoi.
He was the right hand. Yeah, he was the
He
right
had,
hand man.
he had an amazing duel against Lightning, an amazing duel against Aoi in season 1.
And we had a decent amount of development for him.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just poof.
That's just
Gone.
just absurd.
Yeah.
Really absurd. But Spectre has to be.
Just watching him get Team Rocketed off the screen.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got Team Rocketed off the screen, but at least when Team Rocket gets
They say
yeeted off the
something.
screen, they say,
They get
Team
blasting
Rocket's
off
blasting
again.
off
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything.
No,
It would have actually, he wouldn't have made my list if he said Spectre's blasting off again and they referenced Team Rocket. He wouldn't have made my list.
No.
because it would have been.
It would have been like, all right, I guess they were
Yeah.
playing into the meme.
Yeah.
But clearly his voice actor just was not available at the end.
Yeah.
He's more of a theater guy from my understanding. He's not really a big anime guy or
Sure,
voice
but, like-
actor.
Mhm.
And I guess
he just, maybe his contract was structured in a way where he just wasn't, whatever it was, he clearly just was not available, or they just didn't want to use him. His voice actor was great. I thought he did a great job
did a
with
very
Spectre.
great job.
But Spectre in season 3, massive letdown for me, and
Yeah.
it makes number 4. Calibro, number 4 for you.
Oh, we're going to me now.
We're going right to you.
Okay, so mine's probably one that nobody else has.
let's see.
But the Hanoi Spy.
Okay.
And the reason I have this as one of my top 5 disappointments is because of the potential impact that person, he or she, could have played on the entire story arc of the show. Because you get that kind of evil smirk out of Revolver when Playmaker asks him about having someone on the inside.
Yep.
right.
And it almost makes you think he's like, I'm not telling you no, and I'm not telling you yes, but I'm definitely not telling you no.
Yep.
So it kind of gives you that, all right, so there's somebody in there that is literally telling you, they had all the intel. You assume there's somebody in there, they know what's going on, they're in the system, they get all the information from Soltech, they lead it right into the Knights of Hanoi, and that's how they're getting bypassing everything.
And it was so clearly Hiyami.
Yes. Well, that's beyond the point. I
It's-
was going to just write Hiyami being the spy, but
It's either a brand new character or it is actually Hayami, and either route they take, it
Yeah,
would have been really
great,
interesting
yeah.
to lead into a Soul
And
Tech
the
arc.
the Hayami, it being Hayami was perfect because of her infatuation for Akira Aizen.
Right.
right.
Because if that was all a ploy, she wasn't actually infatuated with him. She just acted like, I'm this boy crazy assistant and I'll do whatever the hell you want. It's just the perfect... No, but it's the perfect...
Wow. Caliber's pulling from reality.
Okay. All right, wow, guys, okay. But you know what I mean? Like, it's the perfect, like, cover-up for her ever being found out.
Yeah.
Because she's like, yeah, you know, like, I can, you know, do this, do that. I'll tell these people to do this. But she gets the information and delivers it, but she just stores all that information in her head. And then she has it all. And I think the role of the Hanoi Spy could have been so important if, you know, the story arc was different or, you know, some things changed. But I think it could have played a very big role, and that's why it was a disappointment for me.
I very much agree.
Well,
I forgot to put it on my list, but I very much agree.
No, it's a good point. Nick T, you're number 4, my friend.
Big Nick.
Spectre as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dylan and I had that the same 4.
Yeah.
I think everything that needs to be said about that has been said. I still can't believe it. I can't wrap my head around the fact that a character that actually did get some development, a character that was so integral, especially in the first season, who led Aoi to one of the most humiliating defeats of the series.
Yeah.
That's it. Just gets written off.
Yeah.
Like, completely regardless of the voice actor or otherwise, he doesn't even appear on screen. Like, between. Not once.
He got blasted off.
He got blasted off again.
It's as simple as that. He literally is
such
just
a
like
strong
spiraling out.
battle against Lightning.
Yeah.
He was a great duelist.
Yeah.
So such a twisted character, such a developed, or at least moderately developed character.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, really a shame. Spectre was a shame, and I hope we do get some closure on what the hell happened.
Yeah.
With a lot of plots in VRAINS, not just
there
with
was a few.
Spectre.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a lot of things. But those are our 5 and 4s. We will get to our top 3 after a short donation break. So thank you to everyone who's donated. Thank you to the almost 200 people. Jeez, thank you guys so much who are here on your Tuesday. We really do appreciate it.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday unless it is Wednesday.
It's only Tuesday.
And if
No,
you're
it's
in
on
Europe...
Tuesday. And if you're in Australia, like Sam, it's
yeah,
Wednesday. It's
might be
Wednesday, my
for
dudes.
some great people.
Sam, I hope you're safe
Yeah, I
over
was
there in
gonna say, I
Australia.
guess okay with the fire.
Australia is literally on fire right
Yeah.
now.
It's lit.
The
Yeah.
majority of
That
not
was
the majority,
no pun
but a lot.
intended.
That was in poor taste.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I donated to the Australian Red
It's
Cross.
time for
Did you?
I saw
did.
a girl on
I
Twitter
did.
say if you donate at least $10, she'll send you a nude. But I didn't do
She
it.
raised over $1 million by doing that.
Yeah, I know.
That's been a whole thing.
Last I checked, it was like 700,000.
I read that like her family disowned her for it.
Yeah, she was very. The girl that she liked when the guy, excuse me, that
and
she liked when talked to
she
him.
tweeted about it, and she was like, so many people are like saying that like I did this to get like people to come to my OnlyFans and stuff like that. But she was like, you don't understand the work. I've literally sent thousands of nudes out to people.
Yeah, I respect it honestly.
But it's the same nude picture.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of work.
I don't even care.
Attach the file.
I
send
don't
it.
know. I'm sure she's got more than one.
I'm sure she has more than one too, but she's sending the same picture.
Do we know that for a fact?
And 1.5 million
We don't know
people
that
have
for a
that
fact.
picture.
Either way-
you know that for a fact.
No, you don't. Either way,
Wow.
she raised a lot.
Either
of money.
way, she's doing God's work. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's. But I can't raise $1
No,
million.
but she
for
raised $1
anything.
million. Regardless of how she did it,
No,
she raised
you're
$1
right.
million.
You're right, and she
Yes.
should be praised for that, and she's doing a good thing.
Yes.
A very good thing.
Nick T.
Anyway, if you are in Australia though, or even New Zealand,
be safe.
Yeah,
be
be
safe
safe out there.
God bless, and hopefully,
And if you
I
get the chance,
saw-
save a koala bear because
I
they're
saw on Twitter that
going.
it's,
Yeah, I know.
at least in Sydney, that it's raining now.
I
So,
did.
Oh, good.
That's
yeah,
good.
So
yeah, so that's good.
Hopefully
Some
that-
relief, hopefully.
I wonder how
Horrible.
Russo's doing in Melbourne. He just went back.
Yeah,
He just went back. Oh
I know.
God.
Yeah, he's right in Melbourne. I know it's not.
He did that on purpose.
I know it's not good in Melbourne, but yeah, hopefully he's good. And again, to everyone
He
in
did it 'cause I
Aussie
said it
land,
the right way,
Yeah.
so he had to say it the other
yeah,
way.
God bless, and hopefully, our prayers are with you. So we want to read a few donations.
absolutely.
Okay.
So
Thank you,
to
guys.
start it off, Minister of Gundam,
Oh,
Matthew Kennedy
man, I missed
donated
him.
$5. Said everyone watch Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans for best Gundam ever, Gundam Barbados, and love best girl Atra.
It's been a couple weeks since I've heard that.
Yeah.
It's actually
I
been
missed
about
it.
almost 3 weeks.
Almost
So
three.
yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew,
I
thank you
love
so
you,
much,
Matt.
man.
It's great,
I love-
great to hear. I'm happy to
Yes.
say it. Yes.
It's really refreshing.
Good to
hear
see
that.
and hear from you.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely. Thank you, man. Hope you had a good New Year.
Yeah, seriously, my friend. We'll talk soon, please.
Yes, absolutely. You donated $10.
Bro, my watch didn't understand.
Thank you, Yud. I appreciate
It
it.
actually picked everything up.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, that's weird.
You donated $10 and said, glad to see you're back, Nick. Almost everyone on the server did finish 00 Season 1.
Season 1?
Some said it was slow at first, then enjoyed it. So yeah, hope to watch Season 2 with you. Dylan, when's that VC, though?
We'll be doing the VC soon. I know. I haven't VC'd with
Yeah,
anyone
I
in,
know.
since Nam.
Wow.
I gotta do it soon. Well, I haven't even uploaded. I've just been
Working.
so
You
yeah.
got a
No,
lot
not
going
even
on.
working. Look at my
Yeah,
health.
yeah.
I work one day.
Well, yeah,
I'm just I've got a lot of family. Well, I had the wake and everything in the service, but yeah, we'll VC soon, I promise. And thank you for the donation.
Dude, how did you guys finish?
Yeah, holiday season's nuts.
Oh, I guess in a week. Yeah.
So thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'll jump in for season 2. I like season. Actually, I don't know if I like season 2 better. Maybe I do, but I'll jump in.
Just real quick, Taker Napper wrote in the chat and said Calibro needs to offer dates to people in exchange for donating to Australia.
Genuinely, if you did the same thing that woman did and you offered nude
Oh
pics,
my god.
I'd pay.
You would make
I not even kidding.
I would donate.
I probably would donate to see a nude.
Yeah. And then I would use
I
that
hope that's
nude
not weird.
on dating. I would use that nude on dating profiles, and that's it.
Let you know right now, I wouldn't.
What? That's a lie.
That's the only time where I actually wouldn't be mad at you if you did donate.
Wow.
Well, because then what I'd do is I'd blow it up.
And it'd be right there.
Yeah, me
the
too.
I'd make like one of those fat heads of it where you can just stick it
Oh
to
my
the wall.
God.
It'd be like it'd be like all
To scale.
1-to-1 ratio.
And this is why I could never do something like that.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why.
Yeah, he would
the
be able.
only reason why?
Yeah.
Alright, no.
Definitely not.
Holy shit, that's funny.
Oh
And
my
if you didn't
gosh.
send it to me, I would make a fake account and donate.
Well, yeah, so that you would
Yeah, I would
know it
never
was
know.
him.
I'd be like, "This is my Venmo," and you'd send it from Carl Johnson, and
No,
I would
not
never know.
Venmo. I'm sending you the receipt for the donation.
No. You send me the money and I donate it.
Nah, that's a terrible.
I don't
idea.
think that's how it works.
That's not how she does it.
Yeah, if she did it, she'd
Oh.
pocket that million.
Oh.
You kidding me?
That was Nick T's money when I knew it was him.
Right.
I would take his
That's
money.
fair, that's
Everyone else would get the donation
fair.
through, and
That's
I'd donate
fair.
10 of my own, but
I'm
I
a
would make
sucker.
sure his money came to me.
That's fair.
I would pay for Cal's That seems to be the general consensus.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No Cal moods ever.
Anyway.
I would block you.
Pete said gonna be a hard no for me. Good.
Never
I agree.
ever say never ever.
Oh, is Pete here?
Yeah, he just
He just
typed
wrote in
in.
the chat.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, Pete's
Well,
actually
say love you,
also
Oh,
here.
he's still
No,
here.
he's-
That's weird.
Wait.
Wait.
He's using that phone to write it.
Oh.
Alright, makes
He's
sense. I
texting without
understand.
looking.
Dude, that's incredible.
Wow.
Cal can do that, actually.
Decently.
Alright, so back to donos.
Yes.
John Roy donated $5.
Thank you, John.
Said my biggest disappointment, we don't get Cyber's God cards or Link 7 and 8, and Spectre never had any Cyber's cards at all, or we didn't see Wendy's partner.
That's fair, yeah.
Those are all very good picks.
Yeah, good picks. I never really thought about, the God cards are on a wishful thinking list. For
Yeah,
me, I would have
yeah.
loved to see it, but I'm not like, oh man, I wish they
It like doesn't
I'm
ruin
so
anything.
upset they didn't do it. But it would have been cool to see like a Divine Ignis or Cyber Scott. I guess that's what the Arrival was
Right,
kind
yeah,
of symbolizing.
Yeah.
Would have been cool if the Arrival was like a Link 7, Link 8, but it just made sense for him to be a Link 6 because there's 6 Ignis.
Yeah.
Right.
That being said, yeah, I mean, it's definitely fair to be upset about. Thank you,
agree.
John. I appreciate it.
I
man.
think I also like the idea of like saying Wendy's partner is a big disappointment, but at the same time, it's like pretty early on, he's not
Yeah.
in the show.
That one
So I wasn't as disappointed by it.
There were still a lot of people week in and week out when I would do episode
gonna show.
reviews that were genuinely convinced that he was going to have a roll down the Now I never believed it. I think most people on this panel
Yeah,
did not.
no,
I know
yeah.
Pete didn't believe it. We all thought he was dead.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people in the community. I want to say probably like 30-40% of people watching VRAINS thought Wendy's partner would have a role in the end.
And I don't blame them. But
Oh,
yeah,
I don't blame
I
them
agree
either.
that I'm not as disappointed because that's something they stated and they committed to it, and that's
Yeah, which
That's
didn't
fine.
happen with a lot of things.
no.
Yeah,
It
it
would-
usually
yeah.
doesn't. Not in anime.
No.
Especially death and
Yeah.
shonens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. How
But
many
that-
times did Goku get revived?
But thank you, John.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
You donated $5.
Thank
and
you.
said, let's be honest, Go was shafted?
Yes.
He was
Yes,
shafted.
Go
Shaft.
was shafted.
Shaft.
Sorry, he said go while he was shafted. So I was confused. I was trying to,
I gotcha.
English.
Go was shafted.
Go was shafted, yes. So is Emma, Blood Shepherd, Spectre, and a lot of side characters. They
I
were
thought Blood
all
Shepherd was
great
just crappy.
duelists, but poor match.
Yeah, a lot of them matched up
Yeah.
against Playmaker.
And it's like
That's the one thing that a tourney arc does, though. It gives you a reason for having
Random
good
matchups.
versus good
Yeah.
characters duel, bad versus bad
Right.
characters.
Yeah, and people
instead of
that
it always has to be good versus bad.
right, which means like the stakes are much higher.
Mhm.
The tournament arc means a main character can face someone else who's good and lose, and it'd be okay.
Right.
Because they're not dying.
Or side characters like Go and Aoi converse when they don't have a
Exactly.
reason to duel
Right.
instead.
Or Yusaku Playmaker
Yeah.
can go up against Brave Max
And lose.
not lose, but just think about the state of mind Brave Max would be in walking up and Playmaker's on the other side. He might faint.
Yeah.
Well, he's his best friend though, so it's.
Next donation. Thank you, Yud. I appreciate it, man.
John Roy donated $5 again.
Thank you, John.
Said, I am disappointed Konami does not have ideas because Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 is weak. No good summoning, and I'm not impressed with the rush cards.
That's fair.
I'm not impressed with the rush cards yet either. I agree with that, but I think it's unfair to say they have no good ideas. I think I've still got faith.
Yeah,
I say it every day.
I mean, I'm gonna do a video on it very soon. But the reaction to sevens, I really feel like I'm living in 2010 again when Zexal was first announced.
Just saying,
I was 15. There might actually be people in this chat who are like 18, 19 years old that don't remember what the reception was for Zexal.
But we're old as
But
fuck.
it was well, yeah.
Okay, boomer.
I was about 15, 14 years old, and I mean the reaction for Zexal is identical to the reaction for sevens. I mean, it really is identical.
It would have been
a lot of people I genuinely look at the art style of Zexal and compare it to the original 3. People were like, this isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! This is so overblown. This is so colorized. The protagonist is a kid. What's going on? Why would Konami do that? It's the same reaction. So, John, I completely understand your opinion. I'm excited for sevens, as I'm excited for really anything. I mean, that's just me being overly optimistic. Mm-hmm. I like the Rush Duel cards a little more than I originally did because there's more space for artwork. So I kind of like that aspect of it. I think there can be more beauty in the cards, per se.
I agree with that.
And the Rush Duel format I like as well. I think it's going to be insane, which is going to be kind of fun.
It could be fun.
But I understand the hesitance with it. But thank you, John. I appreciate it.
My least favorite part about sevens is...
What?
The name.
You know
and
what?
I'm not even kidding.
No, the name is lazy.
I think that's what... I agree. That itself...
Yeah.
Made it that disappointing when we saw it because we were like,
"What is this?"
They're calling it sevens.
It doesn't even have like a cool name.
Like
no, I can agree with that.
I think there's no reason that the show won't be good. Like I think the show could be a very good show.
Right.
But when you come right off the bat,
sevens.
Calling it sevens.
Yeah.
There's just no creativity behind. Now maybe the show's gonna have this big theme where a bunch of stuff revolves around the number 7 and a bunch of different a bunch of different things like that. But I don't know. Just naming it sevens to me is it's I wouldn't say it's lazy. It is lazy.
It is lazy.
It just lacks the creativity. Every other show has a real name,
Mm-hmm.
Like VRAINS. When you see that, VR.
Sure.
It's virtual reality.
Sure.
Yep. You get something out of it. This right now we're getting it's the 7th Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. Yeah, I don't love the name either. I think the name is lazy. I think it's one of the things that I probably like the least about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So no, I completely agree with that.
But I mean, other than that, I'm excited for everything. I like when things change up a little bit. Something that could be different. Yeah. Change is good.
It's not the direction I would have loved to see.
No, I think we all wanted a more an older female
cast.
or older just in general main character, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah. So we're going to talk about sevens a little later after the list, just for a little bit. But thank you, John. I appreciate it.
Ghost Nation donated $50.
Oh, holy
wow.
shit. Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Holy shit, Ghost Nation, thank you so much, dude. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
You're
man.
on TikTok, aren't you?
Wow.
Yeah. That's...
Why? He said, "Hey Dylan and crew, I wanted to send this donation during the Jump Festa stream, but I had work.
Aww.
Hopefully it's not too late, and you guys had a nice new year. But my thought on Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 is that it is a step down compared to VRAINS, but I still plan on watching it."
Cool.
There we go. I think
thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for that monstrous donation. So thank you so much first and foremost. Secondly, I think that's probably the consensus. You have 20% of people. Actually, I ran a poll. So it was more like 10%, but you'll say 20% of people are disgusted, they're not going to watch it.
Sure.
I'd say 20% of people are also, they love it, and they're excited, they're definitely going to watch it. Mm-hmm. There's probably a majority of
70%.
people, 70, 60% of people that are just, they don't know how to feel about it.
I'll give it a shot.
And that's why the first few episodes are so critical.
Right.
And that's why, I'm excited to see Seto Kaiba back in action
Oh my
And
god.
like when Seto Kaiba's in the first episode, how do you bring people back into the show? You have Seto Kaiba show.
Well, you have his his nephew as one of the main villains in the show, or the older kid in the 6th grade.
That's Seto Kaiba.
No.
He looks just like Kaiba.
Well, yeah, but
so that's his nephew.
Sure,
and he lives with Seto Kaiba.
Okay, yeah, sure. We'll just add the craziness into the mix.
Yeah, right.
But no, we are going to talk about Sevens a little more in depth later. Although we just kind of talked about it, but
We'll talk more about it.
Step down in terms of the style that made Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a very unique style, and to go to a cheaper animation style or art style, you understand why they did it. It's just more cheap. It's saves money, cost efficient. So it sucks. It's a little saddening, and to call it a step down in that regard, I think is fair. But from a story perspective, we still don't know what it's going to be. It could be an amazing story, and I'm holding out hope.
Now,
and I'm glad you're going to watch it, Ghost. I'm glad you're diving into the unknown with us.
Before we go to something else,
yeah,
would you be as upset? Do you think the general consensus would be as upset if VRAINS didn't end early? VRAINS had a full show, and then they came out with this still.
No, it'd be the same reaction.
You think it'd be the same reaction?
It'd be the same reaction.
I feel like the night of on Jump Fest,
a
lot of people were like, "Wow, VRAINS ended early for
this."
Right,
but that's something that I also want to talk about because
it's not related.
It's not related at all. The studio's changed, so
I know. But what I'm saying is, do you think the reaction would have been different?
No.
I
think instead of people saying VRAINS ended early for this, they would have been saying, why not just extend VRAINS past 3 years?
The distaste would have been shifted somewhere.
Yeah, the distaste would have been in a different
So you're saying same amount of distaste or dislike, just different places?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I'm just curious.
No, it's a fair point. Yeah.
Oh.
That was Jace.
Nothing. Would you want me a Coke?
Oh. All right, next.
That's a fair point. Yeah. We'll do a couple more. We'll read our top 3, and then we'll just have a discussion about sevens real quick.
Sounds primo.
Beautiful. Okay.
Actually, I might.
Goose is here.
Oh, Goose!
Oh, Goose!
Donated $15.
Oh, thank you, dude. Jesus.
Wow, very nice.
It said, "Yo, how was y'all's holidays? One disappointment. Sorry, how was everyone's holiday?
Oh,
good.
really great.
Great,
yeah,
good.
Great. Thank you.
Man.
I was sick for most of it, but I still had a good time.
Yeah, love you, man. Thank you. Did you have the flu?
No, it's strep.
Oh, okay.
His family had the flu.
Everyone in my family had the flu.
I know.
You keep up.
We just had this
We just had a
conversation
like 20 minutes ago. Then he said one disappointment was the amount of episodes and the cut of the characters. Rest in peace, Miyu and Queen.
Yeah.
Then he said hello, Pete, not
culture.
Pete. Best girl Kate, Rockin' Nick T, golfing swing Cal, and Super
Oh, I like it. I
Nice.
like.
People are gonna learn, I got that swing. I'm going again on Saturday.
Are you actually?
Yeah, with my brother and
So bad.
I'm seriously considering that for my birthday now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Even though I did horrible, I had a really good
You started
time.
picking it up though. You
Yeah.
started
I
picking it
did,
up.
yeah.
You remember the game where I smoked him?
I do. That was,
Yeah,
that
that was
great.
fun.
Yeah.
Every game. Oh wait, or the one where Dylan prematurely said, "Good game, it's over," and I came back and won. How about
That
one?
was great.
How
That
about
was
That was, yeah, I
That
have a
happens
feeling.
every time.
I have a feeling most people were not rooting for me in that game.
Dylan
My Mario
finishes-
Party side came out.
Yeah.
He finished his turn and goes, "I'm gonna be the better man." You lost.
Well, I wanted to congratulate him on a good effort. I didn't realize he had 5 shots left, and he drilled them.
You motivated him.
I did motivate him.
With the sand wedge.
But yeah, Goose, thank you, man. We all had great holidays, and we hope your holidays were amazing as well. There's probably a point where the donations are going to become very Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 centric.
Yeah.
So if there is a Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 donation, hold off on it, because
Okay.
I would love to do that at the end.
Absolutely.
After we do our top 3. We'll do the top 3 pretty quickly.
Sure. We have a couple more related to the disappointment. So
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
I'll jump into that.
Yeah.
I'll be
Keep
right
rolling.
back.
Okay, yeah,
Where
go.
are you going?
Go.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
I know
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't need you.
There you go.
I'm
Yep.
good? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
You donated $5, said
You-
Spectre's voice actor made a YouTube video about how they didn't have plans for him in season 3, but the writers did call him again in the last episode. He liked his role.
Oh, really? That is news. I've not heard that from anyone. That's really interesting. I do love the behind the scenes stuff like that. Well, thank you for sharing it. I'm definitely gonna look that up, maybe even do a video on it. Thank you, man.
I wonder if he was like very disappointed that his role was so diminished.
Oh, if he liked his role, probably.
But
yeah.
maybe, yeah, let's say he probably.
I didn't even
his
know that
role.
was a thing. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's.
So-
I might have checked that out too.
Yeah.
I would say that was probably his number one disappointment.
Yeah, well, that's good. I like that.
It took you a minute. Thank you.
Thank you for the donation, man.
KP's here donated $3 and
Oh,
said,
thank you, Kay.
Merry New Year, beef jerky time.
Oh, enjoy your beef jerky. I was never a fan of beef jerky.
You know, growing up, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And about a year and a half ago, I got it one day. I was like, it's like buffalo beef jerky. I love buffalo, like everything, like hot sauce and stuff. And I tried it. I was like, wow, this is really good. I don't eat it that much, but I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
My brother is the same way. He never ate it, and then a couple of years ago tried it, and he's obsessed with it. But
now he is.
yeah, now he is.
I had a couple months where I would get it all the time, like when I would go to Quick Check or 7-Eleven or something. I'm like, ooh,
little bit of jerky.
Get a little baggie of jerky.
A little bag of jerky.
Well, enjoy your jerky, Kay. You're the best. Thank you for the donation, and Happy New Year's to you as
Yes,
well.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. John Roy donated another $5.
Thank you, John.
Said Yugioh Magician cards start off with 2100 attack power, just like Jaden Flame, Wingman. Maybe the Magician will have 2500 in the future on the booster pack.
Yeah, I think that's probably not a crazy thought. Although, if you want to call Decode Talker Yusaku's ace, that's a big debate, right? That was the first character that was the first monster that broke the 2500 attack pattern for the protagonist's ace monster to have. But I could see, just like Jaden, him getting a better upgraded version of Seven's Road Magician. So yeah, I could see that, John. We'll have to wait and see. I'm interested to see if they we know Blue Eyes White Dragon. The most interesting thing to me with Rush Duels is what older cards are they going to put in the format. We know Blue Eyes White Dragon and other older cards are going to be in the format, but are spells and traps going to be a thing? We still don't know. What's the starting hand size, the deck size? Will there be an extra deck? There's so many things we still don't know about Rush Duels. I'm excited for all these things to become answered.
Do you think that's their way of paying homage to the first show? They're going to put a lot of old cards into that style?
They could.
Like
But
Dark
Magician.
redesign a bunch
Yeah.
of them and put them in?
But I think I'd rather see characters.
Do you think the Penguin Warrior will get it?
The Penguin Warrior will not get in, but no.
If he does, you owe me a steak dinner.
I'll give you a steak dinner. John, thank you so much, man.
Speaking of snake, never mind.
Steak dinner. Snakes.
Speaking of snakes,
Do we have any more?
We do, yeah. Sorry, give me a second.
You're okay.
Yeah. Rin Sayorsi donated $2.
Thank you, Ren.
Said, when's the top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Milks video dropping?
all right, we need to do this now.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
We've been asked a few times. We've actually never worked on it. We'll do it.
Wait, why would you say that? You
You-
could have said
you-
it was in the works.
You
No,
understand.
I have
I
to be
have
honest
all
with
the
my-
equipment, and if you give me an audio file where you go over the top 10 MILFs, I will edit it.
Yeah, no, that's I need to be honest with my people. I can't lie to them about when something's coming or.
I don't.
Whoa.
We haven't started. We will start now that there's enough interest expressed. It's happening.
All right.
That's fine.
Oh, Rennie, thank you for the
I don't
donation.
like that.
We
We don't lie.
do our top 3 now, disappointments? Okay. And after the top 3 disappointments, we are going to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's discussion for maybe 30, 40 minutes. We'll read the rest of the donations. Thank you to everyone who has donated so far. You guys have made my night. First video of 2020, really coming back strong. Thanks to you guys, so thank you. Without your guys' support in that sort of way, there's no way I'd be able to do this. And thank you to everyone who's just watching, commenting, for making us a part of your Tuesday.
Let's start with Pete.
All right, we'll start with Pete. So Pete's number 3 is...
'Cause I'm
Do
intrigued.
we want to just bang out Pete's top 3? He's not here anyway.
Yeah.
Let's just
do
bang
it.
out
Let's
Pete's
do it.
top 3.
Okay.
So Pete's number 3 is Spectre in Season 3.
Wow.
Which
Okay,
is,
there we go.
was on all of our lists except Calibro's. Maybe it'll be in Calibro's top 3. Pete's number 2 is No Revolver versus Bowman / I. So this was a unique one. This is one that I did not have on my list, that no one had on their list.
Yeah.
So I guess I can
We can all
try and put
talk,
myself
right?
in Pete's shoes.
Yeah.
I know he was a huge fan of Revolver. I know he was a big fan of Bowman. Not having Revolver versus I was definitely a disappointment for me
Yeah.
because I thought that they were both characters that had to clash at some
Right,
point.
their heads had butt like a lot, quite a bit.
Yeah, and the fact that they never dueled was definitely a letdown. Revolver versus Lightning for me was a good enough replacement for Revolver versus Bowman.
I very much agree.
Absolutely.
But this is one where Pete always gives very good arguments and very good reasonings for his points.
If he was here, he would have been able to.
I would have loved to hear his reasonings for
Yeah.
this. But maybe next time he's here, or maybe he'll show up in midstream and he'll give reasonings on that. But that was his number 2.
Yeah.
His number 1 is Soul Tech and the Hanoi Spy. So that was your number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more to say. Soul Tech was a major letdown. It'll be in my top 3. I mean, most people probably know my top 3.
I can't reveal that yet.
Yeah, you can't reveal that.
I don't want to reveal.
That's
anything.
Pete's biggest disappointment of VRAINS. I have a feeling that if you polled 100 people who watched VRAINS, more than half of them would say the same thing with their top disappointment. I really do believe that. So Calibro,
What's up?
your number 3 is Spectre.
It is.
Just Spectre.
There-
Now,
Spectre.
so not just Spectre in season 3.
Well, it's because of season 3, yes.
Okay.
But again, it's one of those things where we actually got development. He had great duels throughout the entire first 2 seasons.
Yes, he did.
He played such an important role in the show for like many different people. Like all of us agreed, wow, Spectre's probably one of the coolest villains. Like maybe besides Revolver, he's the coolest villain in the show.
Mm-hmm.
He's the perfect like not main villain, like side villain who's like henchman basically, like by his side.
Yep.
And then he gets blasted off again.
Yeah, he's
he
gone.
literally like
See you, Spec.
it's like let's take one of the main, and it's not even like he got defeated in an on-screen duel.
Yeah.
Like it would be understandable and still kind of suck if the first duel of season 3 or the first duel of that whole end arc is like Spectre versus
A copy, copy, right?
Yeah, like versus it doesn't even matter who it is.
That was the real lie
Just-
that Spectre versed.
Oh, it was the real.
Yeah, that
lie.
wasn't a copy.
You're right.
But like
Yeah.
Spectre just losing right away.
Sure.
But like, and it was a quick duel, but you at least saw it. We still would have been pretty mad. We would have been like, wow, like you're gonna give him a crappy duel like that and he's out. But we didn't even get that.
No,
He didn't even he just disappeared. And yes, it's mostly because of season 3. But I didn't really word it that way. I figured you would get the point by me putting Spectre.
No, yeah.
Drury had a really good pun. Spectre got ghosted.
Oh, he did.
That's really good.
That's good. So my number
I like
3.
that one. Spectre got ghosted.
My number 3, and yes, everyone share with us your disappointments as well, because I always do go back and read. My bronze for this list was Playmaker being unbeaten. It was actually number 5 for Pete. Actually, the next one is also Yusaku related. Same thing that I talked about earlier with Pete, or for Pete. I just felt that a loss would have done a lot of good for his character. I like seeing a protagonist that's a little vulnerable. I don't think he showed enough vulnerability even in his wins that made me feel, like, all right, it was okay that he didn't lose.
Yeah.
I know he drew a lot. He drew with Revolver twice and he drew with Bowman. So I get that. Well, not a lot, but he drew a decent enough.
Yeah.
But he needed a loss. Even if it was just one loss, that was a letdown for me. And,
Even a throwback to a loss.
Right, that's what they did
like,
with Yusei.
Like when he met with he met Akira for the first time and he was unknown, I think was what he called himself, Akira.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or Kusanagi.
Kusanagi.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, you're good.
If he had lost that duel like right in the beginning,
Right.
where it wasn't life or death, but he was like, that's how they ran into each other. Like Kusanagi saw him and was like, this guy might be able to help me, even though he didn't win. He could like see the promise. He was kind of the coach from the sidelines anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he kind of be like, hey, like, I could use your help.
Yeah.
In the same way he did, but there's a loss there. So you could see that Playmaker like started off maybe not the best, and he worked at it and knew that like working with Kusanagi he could get better and better to become what he was.
Mm-hmm.
The simple thing like that would have made it perfect.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It didn't have to be anything
Didn't have to be
integral to
drastic.
this. Yeah.
The place where I give him a loss is right
Bowman?
after, the very first time they meet.
Yep.
The very first time they meet, where Bowman doesn't even know what's going on, and
Yeah.
he's still strong enough to beat Playmaker.
Yeah, because that would show you his strength. Like they portrayed his strength by them drawing the second time.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
The
That
third
was-
time.
the third time.
But that was the first time he was legitimate.
That was like Playmaker's loss.
Yeah.
Was him drawing to Bowman,
And
which isn't really.
Or drawing
not
to
a-
Revolver.
Right. I
It's
think,
not a
I think
loss.
the
loss.
second best time would have been him facing I like a first time earlier on and just losing there, and then she would shape up for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Where he would defeat I once and for all.
Yeah.
But nope,
I
you didn't
agree
get
with
that.
that.
Yeah,
so-
like I spares his life. He's like,
Exactly.
I'm not gonna
Right.
take you out.
I
Like,
agree with that too.
I have a use for you, and it's not,
Yeah. Like you.
not as Data. Like stay where you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Nick T, your number 3 is.
Not seeing the Ignis in human form. No, I don't think it didn't ruin anything for me. It wasn't even promised, right?
Yeah.
But I had so much after seeing I's character design in human form, and like
It was
when
awesome.
it was so sick.
Yeah.
And after seeing him at the graves, graves
Yeah,
for the
Great Souls.
for the other Ignis, there was like a spark of hope that we would be able to see like really cool character designs for each of the other Ignis, or at least all but like maybe not Lightning, whatever.
maybe
At
not
least
Earth.
at least Flame, Flame and Aqua. Like there was so much promise
Yeah.
there, and even though, to be fair, I liked how they ended up fixing and doing
Yeah.
season 3. I would have really, if it was longer, I would have really liked to see a sort of like team of Ignis and
You
human
see
form.
Flame walk out with like slick back, like orange
Yeah.
fiery hair
Yeah.
and a leather jacket, and he walks up, talks in his deep voice, and he's like, "Yo, like let's get this."
No, it would have
Okay.
been. It would've-
Okay.
Shades on, like
All right.
the whole thing.
That's just
Okay.
Caliber on a Friday
Yeah.
night.
Well, during the day, shades are on. I don't wear my shades at night.
Right,
It's
right.
reckless.
It's a little reckless.
I completely agree with you. For the record, it wasn't a disappointment for me, but I would have loved to see it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I wish happened.
Yes.
Your number 2. Let's just keep it going. What is
Keep it
your
going.
runner-up?
Oh, wow.
A massive disappointment. for you?
Massive disappointment. Which one? 'Cause I switched it, so let me see here. Oh, lack of development or backstory for Yusaku.
Yeah.
He is our main character. He is, as we've seen, he didn't lose a single duel. He is our main character. He's the driving force behind the show.
Now, Nick T,
Yes.
I'm going to interrupt you right there.
Yeah.
That was my number 2 too.
You might as
There
well
you
put
go.
mine up there because
Wait, was it really?
it's my number
Was
2
it really
as
your
well.
number 2?
Dude,
That's my one that you just put up there.
you just peep. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
How?
Yeah, that's
That's-
crazy.
that's-
How did that work?
That was beautiful.
That's insane.
It just doesn't make sense. How can you empathize with a character that you don't know anything about prior to, or prior or after the incident?
That's your main protagonist.
That's
too.
your main
Yeah.
protagonist.
Spectre got more of a backstory
He
than
did.
he did.
He did. Most
At least we knew he
characters-
was an orphan.
Yeah, most characters got more of a backstory than.
Yusaku's backstory is literally nothing.
It's nothing.
There's not a memory of it. There's
No,
not
nope.
a question about, hey, like what was your life like before the incident, or did you have a family? Like nobody bothers to ask him.
No.
He never dwells on it, never thinks about it, doesn't have like memories of his past, and all this kind of stuff. Whereas literally everyone else, like Miyu, like Aoi has Miyu, like that whole Miyu story about when they were a child, and it brings them together. Like it shows like the two of them. You have Soulburner, who has the memories of being back home and that monster
Right.
literally scaring him to
Right.
death.
We
Like
had like some.
Yeah.
form of
everybody
past.
has some past. Like you said, like Go could have been connected to Yusaku so easily if they just said Yusaku was an orphan
Yeah, and they were in the same orphan.
and they were in the same
Yeah,
orphanage.
Easy.
That's all. That's all you needed, and
Yeah.
then that's what you could bring that to being Go's jealousy of him is because Go knew who he was as a kid, and now he's overtaken what he's done. And like while he's proud, at the same time he's jealous because he wants to be number one.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it fills all these holes seamlessly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like it's just it's mind-boggling that you can have however many episodes of a show and there's no backstory to the guy that you're supposed to try to connect with more than anybody else.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have much.
And I like
There's
the
not
show.
much more to say about that.
Like the
Yeah,
worst part
no,
is we liked the show and there's still that huge hole. This could have been my one.
Could
and
have
it
been
was
my
very
one, too.
close.
Very close to my one.
And it
I had
just
switched it twice before I sent it to you.
Yeah.
it baffles me that there can be no backstory there.
And he was like likable, but he wasn't like you. It was very difficult to.
He was
empathize with
likable
him.
as in like an edgy character.
Right.
But yes, you couldn't empathize with him, and like it was almost hard to feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
in anything.
In anything, because like I don't know anything.
And he
about
didn't
you.
lose. Like
Yeah.
he had really nothing to feel bad for at that point.
yeah.
The biggest disappointment in like the biggest thing that you might try to with him doesn't come until the last episode of the show.
Yep. Exactly. That's it. I'm like, oh, what are the things that we know about him? Just like giving context clues. He lives alone. He was a victim of the Lost Incident. That's pretty much it.
He went to therapy as a kid.
And he went to therapy as a kid.
And then he threw that away and fought underground.
It wasn't
It's like,
even...
oh, great. That's a whole lot to work with.
Yeah.
Like, Robopi's death wasn't even a big deal to him.
He showed a little bit of sadness.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
He showed a lot for
grimaced.
him.
He showed more sadness for Robopi than, like, Howie.
Yeah,
or
but
like,
just kind of messed up.
Well, Robopi was like his child. Like,
Yeah.
he built
Robopi,
it, and, like,
Yeah.
it's just...
Well, let's go to our top disappointment, and then
Yeah.
we're going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s.
Why don't you start us off?
I'll start us off, but
Nice.
I have a feeling that we're going to do a little group talk here. My number one is Soltec.
My number one is Soltec.
Nick T, what's your number one?
My number one is also
Oh
Soltec.
my god. Top twos all around there.
I mean, I don't
No,
know.
I labeled it as chess
Okay,
pieces
'cause-
for you.
Okay, which is
But-
fair, because I was going to say our reasoning behind those things may be different, because mine, at the end of the day, is Soltec,
Yeah.
but our reasoning might be different.
So mine is that every single thing that was ever foreshadowed via Soltec was just nothing.
Yep.
It was nothing. In the very beginning, the chess pieces, which I'm sure you're going to expand on, we have our chess pieces that clearly are going to have a big role down the stretch. They don't. All right. The next time we hear about the kings, we see the queen, who doesn't do anything.
Right.
She made my disappointments list, because where the hell did she go after she was defeated by I? She doesn't get any closure. We don't get any closure on her character.
She could have died.
She might have remained dead. Maybe I didn't revive her when he died. Maybe he made like an impossible code to resurrect her. Who knows?
Wow, that would have been messed up.
Well, but she killed Earth, so maybe he did that. Maybe she's permadead. Either way, we know nothing. Just that Akira takes over her job. Then we get the three kings at the start of season 3.
Is that what they refer to them as?
Yeah, the three kings and the investors, and you're like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
Obelisk, Ra, and Slifer, the
Right,
three
three
colors.
colors, yeah.
You're like, whoa, this has to lead into something. Never hear from them
Yep.
again.
Yep.
Never hear from them again. Blood Shepherd goes to Akira and says, "Do you know about this?" In like episode 76, and Akira's like, "What are you talking about?" Slams a file on his desk, and it's about how Soltec is making a divine Ignis, and that's why
Right.
they wanted to capture all of the Ignis. That never gets touched on again.
Nope.
Yep.
The spy, the
Never
Hanoi
gets
spy,
touched, yep.
never gets touched on again.
Yep.
So everything that had to do with Soul Technologies just went by the wayside.
Yep.
Dr. Kogami says to Revolver, his son, "No, you idiot, we're not going after Soltec right now. We have to stop the Ignis. Then we'll get revenge on Soltec."
Right.
And that
That-
doesn't happen either.
No revenge
I mean,
on
in
Soltec.
part because of his death being blamed on
Well, then,
lightning
yeah,
instead
it
of-
all got shifted to lightning.
Yeah.
And that was, a huge, that was the one thing that I didn't really like that they did.
I almost put that in my...
Yeah,
top
well, no,
five.
but like Soltec, just a real, sorry for the rant, big
No,
disappointment.
yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest disappointment of VRAINS, one of the biggest disappointments in the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise.
My reasoning is very similar to yours. I'll let you touch more on the chess pieces,
Sure.
because the chess pieces were a disappointment, but
Be right back.
we only saw them a handful of times.
Right.
So it was like, we always just had this expectation, there's going to be more, there's going to be more, there's going to be more, and it never came, which sucks. But, like, there were so many things that... The show was at Soltec a lot.
Yes.
There was a lot of different scenes, like, with Akira back and forth in Soltec. Like, the Hanoi Spy, I guess, yes, you can kind of pair with it.
Yeah.
But I had it as a completely different
Yeah,
thing, because I felt like it was that big of a
And
deal.
it was more of a slight against Hanoi than Soltec. Yeah.
It was, yeah. I mean, it just it blew my mind that they could have all these different things tying back to Soltec
Just not
in
happening.
so many different ways. Yeah, and not happen. Like, they brought Queen in and were like, oh, okay, this is where it gets heated with Soltec.
Right.
Which it started to look like it was going to.
Right.
They got Earth, they dissected him like gruesomely, like
Right.
it was a really bad way to take somebody out, and it's like, okay, we hate Soltec, like, we're on board, and they're just kind of thrown to the side.
Yes.
Like, once they get to Lightning, it's like, oh no, I killed your dad. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, Soltec's cool.
right.
Like,
And it's like, what?
And then, I takes over Soltec, and we're like, okay,
He's like, Soltec's not cool.
yeah, like, we're going to do something with Soltec, but you just go after I. There's no other involvement. They kick all the employees out.
Yep.
And, I mean, and then I makes all these copies of himself. It would have been cool to have them play a part.
Right, yes.
Because
yeah.
I would almost include that in Soltec, because, like, he used all those Soltists to make more copies of himself.
Right, it was, yeah.
Like, there was, what, like, hundreds and hundreds of them that in that, like, department or the warehouse.
Right.
And then after he dies, they all just fall.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like, what's the...
There's no, like, there's no use for it. They
No.
never get to, like...
yeah, they're just there, and then they collapse.
Yeah, I just... The
Which I get,
whole-
like, it's the looming threat of global domination.
Yeah.
But so much more could have been done with them.
But it's almost like you would almost rather see it start and you stop the chaos.
Right, then just them being in the
Not
warehouse
stopping
and
it before anything happens.
Right, and it does, because
And it
that's,
relates back to Soltech because I needed to take over Soltech to make those copies.
Yep.
So that could have been something else that came from Soltech, even if it wasn't really the people of Soltech themselves. That still never came to fruition.
I very much agree. Now, the reason I specified chess pieces is because I felt like that was in itself sort of multifaceted. Because yes, not only like at the beginning, right? We're introduced to the chess pieces, and they're clearly the ones running the show.
Yeah.
And not only that, but they are clearly really not great people.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have like who we can sort of deduce as like, oh well, Akira's the pawn, and then and that's its own thing. Like they were introduced as sort of our bad guys in a sense, or one of the bad guys, but then that was it. They dropped off the face of the earth.
Well, how many lost incident victims were there?
5.
6.
How many chess pieces are there?
6. Oh yeah.
I mean,
So
there was deep symbolism.
I always forget Miyu. That's
Right.
why,
No, that's fine. But there's deep symbolism there
Yeah.
that could have been something linked together.
Yes.
Linked.
Yeah, well, Link, very nice. But so, yeah, exactly. That's another part. Yeah, like that could have been linked. That's 6 on 6. We have like a sort of a matchup there, and even like to take that a step further. Okay, so they weren't the villains that we hoped, or even we're getting towards this end of season 1. Like, why aren't they doing much yet? And then we meet Queen, right? That's the
Yeah.
first time we see a chess piece in person, right?
We
She's
thought
like
she was
Queen of-
reviving the chess
right.
She's in the opening 2, and we're like, who is that woman?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we meet her, and then we're like, oh, maybe we're gonna meet our other chess pieces. We meet Blood Shepherd. Like, oh, and then we made that. Even though it was sort of a far
Blood Shepherd is
Blood
good.
Shepherd.
it was a decent theory.
Yeah,
and
it was a good theory.
I was excited to meet these other faceless villains in person, which we did not get.
Yeah.
Like, it's just really, in a way, it's
You can give them each a backstory.
exactly.
And like,
so many missed opportunities for development and story, and just thrown away.
Yeah.
And we can sort of figure out the reasoning behind that, but that's not what this is about. It's about the fact that they didn't do it.
that is a unanimous top disappointment of Soltech in some form.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. That is so
And
literally
the top 2 are unanimous.
our
Oh, I see what you're saying.
our entire group here, our entire crew here at Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything have a complete agreement that the biggest disappointment in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS was Soltech and the chess pieces and the noise spy, everything that had to do with Sol Technologies, and I feel like that probably does speak volumes just how disappointing it truly was.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
And
it just shows like
No, I was gonna say it's not even that they did something that made you not like them or made you disappointed. It's everything that they didn't do.
Yeah.
right.
There was so much potential. Like, we had such high hopes for, oh my god, like, what kind of villain is like Soltech as a whole gonna be? Like, this corporation is gonna be all over everyone. It's going to be like something that you have to take down piece by piece. Like, it's not something you just go to the top and take them out.
Right.
Unless you're I and you get Queen and
Yeah,
the whole
well,
company.
Yeah.
But like, it was something that you could see a long, hard fought arc for, and it just nothing came from it.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's interesting because like this is coming from someone who really did like the series quite a bit, but this Soltech is that reason alone shows how sort of disjunct the writing was for the show, because if you look at it, they're shaping up to be the villains. Not going to do that. Like it's always dancing around Soltech, but never nailing it. Where it's like, oh, is Soltech the villain? No, not really. Oh, here's Queen. Is she the villain? No, not really. These 3 kings? No, not really.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't understand what they were doing because it. Of course, we had problems in the beginning, but that wasn't all just in the beginning. The kings, the queen, like that was all later on, and they still
Throughout the entire
danced
show.
around it and took it away.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. A lot of people have said that, like, they're surprised VRAINS was as concisive and as, like, decent of a show as it was,
Right.
given all the things that plagued it. And we know how much plagued it. Now, the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's, the next installment, is not even being done by the studio.
Right.
Yeah.
There were so many issues, and we'll never really know who to blame. Was it Konami for not funding them enough? Was it Studio Gallup for making poor financial decisions and investments with their employee? We don't know who to blame.
We'll never know, probably.
And we're probably never going to know.
Yeah.
But,
And that's okay. It's just that's how it was.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised, like, with me saying, like, oh, it was disjunct, they kept bouncing around. The decisions they ended up making were okay.
Yeah,
It worked out in its favor, but
yeah.
it could have been more concise.
It's going to be a negatively looked at perspective on this video because we're looking at disappointments.
Right.
But the overall like opinion on the show, I feel like by all of us was
positive.
we all genuinely liked the show a lot. And if we didn't, like, especially for someone like me who this is the only anime I watched.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't like it,
well, this guy
You didn't have to.
I didn't have to keep watching it. It's
No.
not like I was tied into so many animes. Like I want to keep watching it. I genuinely liked the show. Genuinely followed it, and I dove in from the beginning. I was like, I haven't really watched it, but I'm gonna go for it. When I texted you when it first started, and then I was hooked. I was like texting you all the time.
I know.
Like,
Well,
like, I wonder what's gonna happen here.
And just so people realize, you're an accountant at a very big financial firm. So, well, just to show that, like, you know, there's people who adult that can still enjoy a show like this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What?
Just the way you worded that.
Or adults.
Well, anyway, thank you guys. That was I wish Pete was here, but he was here with us in spirit and on your screens. That was our top 5 disappointments in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. If you want to see my top 10 list, I go over more stuff that I was disappointed in with more detail. You can find that right down below, as well as my top 15 characters, top 10 duels that we wish we saw, and top 10 unanswered questions. They're all linked down below. We're going to get into donations. We're going to talk more about Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s and start to just, not really wrap things up. We still probably have maybe a half an hour left, if, maybe at least a half an hour left. But
I'm sure we'll go on some sort of tangent.
Sure.
As it always
Absolutely.
We'll go into some donations. So thank you to everyone for watching.
A couple of pages of donation.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you guys.
Oh, dang.
2020 is starting off really well, so thank you guys so much.
Yes. So first dono comes from, and I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. Sold the snack.
Solid snack.
Solid Sack, Sora, yep.
Okay. Donated $5 Canadian and said, to be honest, I'm glad they kept Wendy's partner dead. Would have been an ass pull if he was alive.
Yeah.
Really hoping Sevens has some good tournament arcs too.
Thank you for the donation, Sora. So it sounds like Sora is watching Seven Solid Snack.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is cool.
I'm in with you.
Yeah.
And I think the general consensus about...
At least for us, we agree with it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are disappointed he never showed out, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah. They committed. That was one of the few decisions that they actually said and committed to.
Yeah. So I completely agree with that, man. Thank you for the donation.
Sorry, give me just a quick sec.
No, you're good.
Next dono is from Master Moon Calamity.
I love that name.
Calamity. That's a great name.
Right.
I don't know if they
I'm not
know.
familiar.
No, that's all. I do like that name a lot.
Yeah. Donated $3 and said, do you think Blue Maiden could have gotten a Link 5?
Yeah.
Yes,
I think a lot of characters could have. I think, Revolver, they actually printed a Link 5 for him. Boral and... What was the name of it? I did a whole video on it. I can't remember the name. It was Boral and something. But my point being, if the show continued, I feel like he would have used... Oh, just Boral and Dragon.
Boral.
Which is a Link 5 that they created. It's got 3 heads.
That is sick.
Yeah. And they printed it in December. So if the show was going on its regular time course, Revolver probably uses it. It ends earlier than maybe anticipated.
Right, then he doesn't.
And he doesn't use it. But
and I feel like the same goes with a lot of other characters.
Yeah, I don't think, and thank you for the donation, I don't think that Aoi Zaizen was next in line to get a Link 5.
I don't think so either.
I think it would have been Revolver, and then maybe Soulburner even before Aoi, and then maybe Aoi Zaizen.
Yeah. I mean, we know how that, just who ended up getting more development, lasted longer in the show. Which is Soulburner. He was going to get it if it happened.
Nice, dude.
You don't have to thank me.
Thank you.
But
thank you. What do we thank you?
Yeah. For that show, for that wonderful display of athleticism.
Thank you so much.
He's having Top Golf flashbacks. But no, seriously, thank you.
Solid Snack donated another $5.
Thank you,
said, I think the name Sevens works better in Japanese because it's in English, and it seems to be a case of Japan using English words to seem cool.
Oh!
It's a good perspective.
That's fair. Okay, you know what?
Even Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens in
in Japan.
So
Right,
I
so
guess I
it's-
could see
Like
that.
okay,
So that might be that's an interesting perspective. So
You know what?
from a Japanese perspective, like
I can see
maybe
being
a,
like
a Japanese teenager, they're like, oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's an English word.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know what?
okay, I can see
I
the
get
appeal.
down with that.
Yeah, I can see the appeal there. That makes sense. I didn't look at it.
That
from
makes
that
me like it a
perspective.
bit more.
Yeah.
Like I'm still not sold on it, but I do like
Looking
it.
at
a bit
it
more.
from a different point of view, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donation.
Yeah, very
man.
good
And a
point.
good
Always
point.
gotta
Yeah.
keep an open mind.
Always.
Yeah, to anything.
Even drugs. Nope.
No, no
I think
need
he's had a
to.
few bounds. I mean, he's
Slow
just.
your roll a little
And
bit.
he's only drinking water.
I know that's
That's-
a surprise.
Just imagine when I'm on my
Is-
usual stuff.
Is that
Like
White Claw in there?
Gatorade.
John Roy
Maybe.
donated $5.
Thank you, John.
Yo.
Said if we get Rush cards, we're going to get Rush summonings and Rush God cards, and I doubt it. We're going to get Rush pendulum cards and Rush links.
Yeah.
Well, will we get anything from the extra deck? Will we have Rush
Yeah.
Fusions?
Yeah, who knows how
Will we
this-
have Rush
yeah.
XZs or Synchros? That's why, I mean, that's probably something that I'm just as excited about when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s.
Learning
like,
about
learning
the
about the
new
characters and everything, but
Of course.
also learning about what cards they're going to print and
Yeah.
how Rush duels are going to function.
Yeah, it could be a very different game. Those summoning methods may not really play a
No.
role. Yeah.
And now the other big concern that I have is with 7s, and I want everyone to hear me on this, is I really do hope that we still have the normal type of dueling in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7.
Oh, of course,
In
yeah.
the trailer, it looks like his dual disc
Change.
It's a
changes.
7, right?
Well, yeah, it's a normal disc, and then it changes into the 7 style.
Right. So
So I think if it has the normal dual disc
we may see some
capacity,
normal
I think we'll see some normal
duels. I
master
hope
duels.
so. It would get old very fast.
Yeah, kind of like speed duels and VRAINS. I prefer
Exactly.
master,
Master,
so we'll see how that goes. But that's what I'm hoping for. But John, thank you for the donation, man.
Mhm.
You donated $2 and said people on the server said I look like the voice actor of Yugioh.
I've seen the picture. I saw the comparison, and I think it's really funny. But it's not that accurate. It's just hysterical to say. I've seen the two pictures of them side by side, and it's just funny to say. I do love it.
I hadn't even heard that.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Who started that?
I have no idea.
That's-
someone just. I forget who.
I mean,
tweeted
I
it.
gotta be honest. Yuga's voice, he's a good-looking guy. He's a
Yeah,
good voice actor.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so is you.
I feel like most
But they
voice
don't look a
actors
lot
are very
alike.
good-looking people.
Barrett's a great example.
Sure.
It all
Daniel
very
J.
funny.
Edwards too.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
I'm starting to sweat.
I don't know if I see the resemblance either, but that's funny.
Yeah,
That's
it
actually
is really funny.
Jesus.
I
But
like
thank you for the for the donation. Oh man.
Melinda Phantom's here.
Melinda.
Linda.
Donated £2 and said biggest disappointment, VRAINS ending early.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. That's a very good point.
I mean,
that could
I-
sort of encapsulate.
That's kind of the
five.
root of everything,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
I hope that sevens doesn't get. There's a lot of reasons for people to dislike sevens
But
and
it
hate on
shouldn't be that
sevens.
VRAINS ended early.
It shouldn't be hated for VRAINS ending early because I really don't think there's any,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
any
don't think there's
association.
correlation
Yeah.
between
There's
the
no
two.
correlation, yeah. So
Exactly.
I hope that's not. But that being said, you can definitely be angry at VRAINS ending
Oh,
early.
yeah.
Oh, of course.
Even if sevens isn't the reason, there is a reason.
We
We
can
don't
write
know
hate mail
these.
to that other...
Oh, let's not do that. But I'm not never do that. Never send hate mail to anyone.
Like
No.
complaints, I meant. I
No,
didn't mean
what do
it
you?
in the
I
sense
mean,
of hate.
no. Listen,
Hi, I'm
don't.
very disappointed
reasonable
in what you
manner.
said.
No.
Yeah, a business letter.
No. You can
Professional
definitely be
letterhead.
disappointed at that, Melinda. Thank you for the donation. You're an amazing gal. I hope you had a great
Write
New
hate
Year's.
mail.
She another £2 and
Thank-
said, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. Yeah, fun. I've accepted it.
Woo!
There we go.
Good.
Well, it's-
I've warmed up to it as well.
It doesn't sound like a glowing
It doesn't.
endorsement, but you know what? I think that's
Exactly.
Hey, you know,
yeah.
we're gonna be on the ride every week. We're gonna be talking Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
into
So
the
just join
sevens,
us.
whatever we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Into
So
the
join
sevens.
us.
That just sounds weird.
Yeah, no, there will
We'll
be better.
think, yeah, we'll think of
Yeah.
something good.
Even if you're not, loving the show, hopefully you find some enjoyment in our antics. But, we'll be diving
Well-
with anyone who wants to go.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll wear a scuba outfit in the first dive, you
All right.
If you do,
know. Show up with a
Next
scuba
dono.
Yeah, next dono.
Master Moon Calamity again donated $5.
Thank you.
Wow.
Said, hey, do you think it's kind of weird that Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's MC
Main
main
character.
character was named Yuga, like Buddy Fight's main character, and the animation looked very similar.
is that actually the name
Yeah.
of Buddy Fights?
Yeah. So a lot of people, especially people who watch Buddy Fight, did not like that. and even if you don't watch Buddy Fight, it's kind of like really.
Yeah, they could have
Couldn't
picked
think
any
of it.
name.
There's so many names
Put
out
together
there.
4 letters and they're...
Yeah, and like
Not
even
even
if you
order.
pick the same first name as a main protagonist in an anime,
Don't make it
don't make it a
similar.
card game anime. There's not many card game animes.
No.
You know, it's an easy bullet to dodge.
Yeah.
So yeah, not
They
the
just like
best
walked right in
look.
front of the bullet.
Not the best look. Yeah, definitely not
They
the
jumped
best
in
look.
front of the bullet.
And then-
So I completely do agree with that.
I'll
It's a little
skip.
weird.
And then also within that, I'm gonna mispronounce this. I don't even know what this is. Quasars.
Quasar?
Quasar.
Oh, Quasar.
Quasars returned to TCG with MR 3.5.
Yeah, Master Rule 3.5. Yeah, well, Quasar, yeah. Now it's more, with Lynx, that thing was impossible to summon. Now it's, I guess, making its big return, so
Back in the meta.
definitely. No, I don't know about back in the meta, although that's a good phrase.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's what we're going to start saying around here, back in the meta.
It's back in the
Just
meta.
Just about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
Nick T's meta.
yes.
Maybe.
he is. Thank you for the donation.
Stardust donated $5.
Oh, so does nobody?
Yeah.
Oh, Sam,
Sam.
thanks so much.
What's up,
man.
Sam?
Said started Fate recently, becoming obsessed. How have you all been? Sorry for your loss as well. Dylan lost a family member last week too. So
He did.
sad times.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, sorry for your loss. My condolences. It was a great uncle.
Sorry.
It was my mom's dad's brother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I wasn't. He was 83, so he was an older
Wow.
older gentleman.
Wow.
Great guy, amazing guy. Yeah, I didn't see him that often, but
Still,
enough.
family's
where-
family.
Yeah,
Family's
Family's
family.
family.
Yeah.
Family's
So
family.
yeah, always sad to go. Great guy, and yeah, I send my condolences to you and your family as well, Sam. Thank you for the donation. Fate, I believe that's the series that Ebino left Yu-Gi-Oh for, right? So I'm sure there's some good animation there.
We were talking about it on VC, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like," and you showed me this video that completely turned me off from wanting to tackle it. There was like, I forget what the guy on YouTube is, but like it was about how convoluted. Like, if you want to watch this, you should watch this. It's a back, and it just becomes like a vicious.
Fate?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
It's
know,
so
there's a lot of
mixed up.
entries.
I really do want to watch it.
Yeah,
but it just seems
it's
like
not a mech anime, is
no,
it?
it's not. It's about like just heroes of, of fables basically. It seems sick.
No,
Enjoy
I've
it.
heard good things. Yeah, but thank you, man, and I hope you enjoy your binge, as you always do. You always enjoy it. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Much love, man.
Love you, Sam.
Yeah.
John Roy donated another $2.
Thank you, John.
He said, "P.S. I didn't have a good year because my mom passed away."
Ugh,
Oh,
God,
dude,
that's
I'm
kinda-
sorry. That's
yeah, dude.
really
So
terrible.
sorry, man.
I can't even imagine,
Yeah.
honestly.
There's not really much to say about that except just
Deepest
No,
condolences.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's
Sorry.
hard, man.
none
Yeah.
of us have been through that, so we can't
Yeah,
relate.
That's a different kind of loss.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what I would do,
Yeah.
but I hope 2020 treats you better, and in some capacity you get some closure for that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Looking up always.
Yeah, we're all genuinely sending our love to you, man.
Yeah. Of
course.
You're a great
Absolutely.
guy. You've really helped me out a lot. So if that's any consolation, but love you, man, and yeah, prayer, God be with you, man.
Yeah, we'll be thinking about you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
Axe the Road is here.
Oh,
Donated,
I love Axe.
What's up,
Axe is
Axe?
my homegirl.
some Colombian pesos.
No.
Mexican. MS.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mexican.
Mexican. Said Nick T, my bro. Dylan, Cal the Legend, and Kate. Hope you guys had great holidays. Glad to be here again with all of you.
Yes, Axe, we love to have you.
Love to
Axe
have
is my
you.
homegirl.
Well,
I love
yeah,
Axe.
I mean, I love that tagline for me. Cal the Legend. Just skips over
yeah,
me.
we're
You
just
shouldn't
like,
have even
"You're
included
Dylan."
me.
Hey, be easy.
Hey, you're
kidding.
the host, so that's
I'm
what
kidding.
you are.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
the legend.
I'm kidding. Right. You are the legend. No, she's not wrong. She's not
Yeah,
wrong.
I mean, yeah. We
So,
all know.
yes, thank you, Axe. All kidding aside, I do appreciate it.
Also,
And it's
glad
good to
to
hear
be
from
back too.
you. Yeah, yes. Good to
Yeah,
hear from
right?
you, Axe.
Yes.
Yes. KP donated $4 and said, "Y'all, beef jerky time is from Trading Places." So remember before she
Oh,
donated,
yeah,
said beef jerky time.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get that.
Oh.
That
yeah.
went right over my
I love
head.
beef jerky though.
I don't know what Trading Places is.
It's
Isn't it a show?
Yeah.
Am I dumb?
I'm dumb too. Yeah,
It's not
It's
trading
it's-
spaces.
No, it's trading
places.
places.
Different.
I
whole-
remember
it's
trading
a-
spaces.
the
That's
whole
what
time,
we're,
the whole time Kay is
yeah,
just sitting in front of her
yeah,
computer, like, are these guys idiots?
Yes.
They're in a conversation about beef jerky. We talked like 3 minutes about beef jerky, and she wasn't even eating beef jerky.
I'm explicitly talking about buffalo beef jerky. Like,
I know. Well, that's all right.
Teriyaki. I'm all.
I think it's time for me to go to bed.
Teriyaki's good too.
Trading Places is a 1983 American comedy.
Okay.
It's a movie.
Yeah. it's
Well,
a
okay, I missed the reference, but thank you for the.
I'll
donation.
have to watch it just so I can understand the reference.
Yes.
I'm also
Yes.
terrible with movies.
Dan Aykroyd
Oh.
and Eddie Murphy.
Oh, then I
Eddie
have to
Murphy.
watch it.
Yeah.
I love both those people.
So that sounds good. I'll add that to my list. Pat Karanjeet's here. Donated $5.
What's up, Pat?
Said he was disappointed that Soulburner never dueled Playmaker.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a duel that we wish we saw. Definitely,
Yeah,
that was
always.
pretty high on my list if I
Mhm.
remember correctly. The problem when you have a show like VRAINS where the stakes are just so high at every single turn, it's hard to have a hero duel a hero.
Right, because that means one of them is going to die.
Most likely. So unless you want to make one a heel and make one become the bad guy, which they didn't want to do.
Yeah. Could have had Soulburner go up in flames.
Pat, thank you for the donation. Next donut. Thank you. Seriously, though, thank you, man. Yikes.
Yikes.
But like Soulburner is like almost a villainous name.
It does sound like it could be villain.
You know, so that
But so
like,
could
it-
I
Playmaker.
thought he was going to betray
No,
everyone. but-
Playmaker?
Playmaker, you make the plays to win the game.
No, dude, you're going up some sadistic card guy. I don't know. Playmaker? Absolutely.
No, you're making him sound like he's the
Yeah, what about
Joker.
like Blue Angel? That's a
no.
fucked up name.
What?
Next dono.
Next donut. Elizabeth W's here.
Oh,
What's
Liz.
up, Liz?
Donated $5.
Thank you,
said,
Liz.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
She's sending love to Australia. Said her biggest disappointment is interesting plot points not being used as much or were just dropped. Hashtag
Yep.
never forget Shin Yoshida.
Oh God. Yeah, we got to go over that comic. I haven't done it yet on stream. That
Oh,
Liz,
yes.
that Liz wrote, which I haven't read in full. I want to do it when we're all here. So
yeah,
when
we'll do
Pete's
like a
here.
live reading.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We definitely will do that, Liz. I've not forgotten that.
Feel
Jump
that.
Festo was a little too insane with how many people were here.
Yeah.
But when all of us are here and it's a much
More chill environment.
stream, maybe like an after dark, we will definitely do that, Liz. So thank you for that, seriously, and thank you for the donation. I do appreciate it a lot.
Always.
Blue Maiden 28 is here.
Okay.
Donated
Woo.
$20.
Thank you so
Ooh.
much. Jeez, that
Blue
is a
Maiden.
lot. Thank you so much, Blue Maiden.
Said, hey
Ugh,
everyone, this
thank
will
you.
probs be my last big dono for a while, but glad to
Fine.
see y'all back and happy to be here. Anyway, Happy New Year, and I hope Sevens is good.
I
Yes.
agree. And yeah,
Happy-
Happy New Year.
Happy New
all
Year.
that.
Happy you're here. Also hope that Sevens is gonna
Yeah,
be good.
same thing. And never feel bad about not being able to donate.
That's
I
not
mean,
what it's about.
Yeah, no, not at all. But I mean, the support that you've given me, the support that everyone's given me is insane. So
You guys are
never,
awesome.
yeah, I mean, you really are. Never, I don't do this for the donations, not at all. So don't feel bad about not donating anymore. Seriously, it's completely fine. So thank you for that donation. And yeah, I hope your New Year was great as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, positively.
Pat Karanji donated $5 again.
Thank
Pat.
you, Pat.
Yeah.
Said, I'm thinking the dominant summoning mechanic will be, if any, will be XYZ summoning, Xyz summoning, because how easy it will be to get monsters out from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, very easy to just summon monsters and then just XYZ them to overlay them. Feel like the same concept, though, can be said about tuners. I mean, you just summon a tuner, you summon a non-tuner, and then you tune to get a synchro. Fusions would be hard, and that's the other thing. If this is going to be a format that does not use spell or trap cards, then fusions are probably not going to be in this game. And
Yeah,
if
that would
fusions
make
are not in the game,
That's huge.
yeah, probably a lot of extra deck summoning methods are not going to be in the game. Now, pendulums is a main deck method, but are there going to be pendulum zones? I can't see that. You okay?
Yeah, like the sticking to your neck. It was really like
What
a
was
piece of
it?
tape.
Oh, a piece of tape?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Right.
Yeah, no, sorry, but yeah, no, good points. And yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what they do. But I'm excited, Patrick. I'm excited for it.
You donated $10.
Oh, shit. Thank you so
Whoa.
much, dude. Thank you.
Said, my number one biggest disappointment is no stakes like 5Ds and GX. There were almost no permanent deaths, and I wished I felt sad with the Ignis death if I knew they were gone for good. Lack of tension.
Yeah.
Agreed. Lack of tension. Wow, that's the best way to word a lot of what happens towards like that part of the show is lack of tension, I think.
I think it's interesting because the beginning of the show, like the first season, we were very worried about how right off the bat, like it felt like every death was do or die.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember we were talking about that?
Yeah.
We're like, not every death needs to be do or die, which is why we all wanted a tournament arc.
Right.
Duel.
But it's
do or die.
is that what
You
I
said
said?
death. It's do or die. But I got
every
what you
duel
meant.
is do or die. But like, and then, but to his point, because it started off that way, and then people just came right back.
Right.
You never thought someone was going
You didn't
to die
take it
permanently.
seriously, yeah.
It's like, oh, they'll be back. Oh,
Yeah.
look, they were turning to data, but they'll be back after this
But
whole
that's
arc
also
is
the
over.
precedent that every single Yu-Gi-Oh has set.
Right.
Every single Yu-Gi-Oh, when they kill off a character, there's a 95% chance
come
that
back.
character's coming back.
Right.
And so we just assumed with VRAINS, oh, they'll come back. And then we realized at the end, like, oh shit, the Ignis are not
Yeah.
coming back.
Especially because they were data.
Yeah.
They
Right.
weren't even
I thi-
human deaths, they were data.
I think they
Right.
would have had to like set it up in a way that like makes it very clear that there's no way they can come back.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They really didn't set.
You would
it
need to
up
have
much
it,
at all.
like, I guess the way they did it, which I would say for a human would be the way to do it, was to like have a funeral.
Sure.
And I guess that symbolism of the
It's
gravestones
some sort of finality of it.
was
yeah.
their finale, like their death, they're not coming back, even though they're data and we all still thought they were going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was really, like, if one of the people in the show, like, disappeared, like, when Spectre died, right?
Sure.
Or whatever, went away. If you saw, like, Revolver mourning his actual death,
Yeah.
then you could be like, okay, maybe
Yeah.
he's actually not coming back.
Right.
Right.
But
right.
that mourning never happened.
Right.
It was like when Go lost to it was Revolver, right? When Go lost to Revolver before the end of the first season,
Yes.
and he's like, and Yusaku's like, oh, like thanks for showing me how he duels, so I know what's coming. You know, there's no mourning there.
No.
He's like, oh, you did good. It's like basically like I'll see you on the other side once this is over. You
Yeah.
know,
It's like
I'll
okay,
get you
great.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It just
It didn't feel
Yeah.
heavy. Yeah. It's weird.
No, it's a good point.
mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ute. Appreciate
That
it,
was,
man.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was good. I think he'll appreciate it.
Rex Kendricks is here.
Rex.
What's up, Rex?
Some Colombian pesos, and said just got here. Noticed, just noticed that wasn't real Pete.
I love that. I love that so much.
I think it took some people a while to realize
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
not Pete for those just joining us now. Rex, thank you for the donation, man. Much love to you, bro.
It is Pete though. It's just not Pete.
It is a picture of Pete
Yeah.
wearing his "You Only Live Once" shirt, taking a selfie.
YOLO.
But that's not actually happening right now.
Right. It could be happening right now. It's just not this. He could be taking a selfie in a year.
Right, he
Yeah,
could be
but
doing that. but
He's not with us.
He's not with us now.
right now.
And not dead. Not with us. He's just not.
You're digging a hole in the
Yeah.
teeth, but the show.
I just have to clarify.
Let the show go on.
Joseph Tedisco donated $10.
Oh shit! Thank
What's
you,
up, Joe?
Joseph. Thank you, man.
Yes, and said, my biggest disappointment in VRAINS was the use of the lost incident victims. Earth dying too quickly, never
Yep.
met Spectre, and
Yep.
Wendy's partner, Jin, and Miyu never got more involved with the story.
Yep,
Yeah.
completely agree with
I
him.
feel like we that was our conversation before.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
We were
100%
just
it.
talking about how none of those, like, the lost incident basically meant nothing.
yeah,
After,
yeah.
like, it started everything, like, it was like, we're trying to figure out what happened, why this happened. But that's not, like, you would have thought that that was going to be the whole story. You know,
Right.
like, that this entire time, at the end of the show, was going to be when they either took down who was in charge of the Ignis, or, you know, or just figured out what was wrong. And that was, like, it wasn't even the storyline, you know?
yeah.
So it really,
yeah.
it really did kind of fall off.
Yeah. Again, I said it earlier. I completely agree with you, man, that I would have rather seen focus on the lost incident victims than focus on the Ignis.
Yeah.
They went the other way with it. Though the focus on the Ignis was good. I connect more to human beings personally.
Yeah.
I would have liked to
respect
see
it.
that. But Joseph, thank you. That's a very nice donation. So thank you, man. You good?
Yeah.
Nah, you good.
This is good. Axler said Pete is training to have the world's longest record of staying still for the longest time.
He's doing a good job.
He is. Doing
He is.
great.
Yeah, Pete, come on, look at us.
It looks like he fits in decently well.
Yeah.
honestly.
You did a good job cropping.
Thank you.
Ryu Misaki.
Ryu Misaki.
Very good.
Donated 10 Canadian dollars.
Oh shit! Thank you so much, Ryu.
Canada.
Canada.
Oh, I'm
said-
excited to move there. Sorry.
You're moving to Canada?
No.
It's funny because he
well,
was talking about
when the draft starts.
When you started saying "dra," I thought you were going to say "when the dragon comes." I was really
winter is
confused.
coming.
So I'm glad there's not dragons or the draft.
Yet.
Yes, that's a
For
good
either.
point. Anyway, donated 10 Canadian dollars. Said when I took over Soul from Queen, he should have made a tournament where the winner gets a wish with all of the Soul Tech's power and influence. But tells Yusaku and the gang his real plan as it is at the end. Do you want me to read that again?
Yeah, if you could. I
Yeah.
actually got a little lost there.
No, I understood it, but go ahead for Nick too.
When I took over
Soul from Queen.
Soul from Queen, he should have made a tournament where the winner gets a wish with all of the Soul Tech's power and influence.
Yep.
But tells Yusaku and the gang his real plan as it is at the end.
Yeah.
That I get. I like that a lot. I mean, I wanted a tournament.
I thought when I took over, there was a chance he was going to have a tournament under
it
Soul's
made sense,
name.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have liked that. I think that would have been really
It
cool.
would have been very
He
good.
could have held a tournament to find someone that could help him like take down Yusaku and his team.
Well,
Like find an ally almost. Like find someone who's good and then turn them into his ally and be like, this is the main goal, and they could be maybe in the tournament trying to prevent that from happening.
Fair.
Just to keep like a plot along with the
Right, that's
the
fair.
tournament. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been cool.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I love tournament arcs. You know.
Yeah, thanks for the suggestion and the
That was a good
donation.
idea.
That was a good
Thanks.
idea.
I try.
Goose came back,
So
donated $10.
Oh, Goose!
Goose.
Thank you, Goose. Thank you,
Um,
man.
He said Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s is still very questioning. Glad it came from left field, but expecting a lot. First series of a new decade and 20th anniversary. That being said, interested in the girl's point of view when the show starts.
Yeah, it's got a lot of weight only because they bought into this. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary. If they don't make any notion about the 20th anniversary, I don't think that the people would be that upset about this show.
It's not. Yeah.
But when and that's something that annoys me about it, when you say, yeah, we're going to honor Yu-Gi-Oh! This is going to be a show dedicated to the 20th anniversary, and there's a chance the show will have to do with crossovers, right? There's a chance, maybe that really, honestly is Seto Kaiba in the very first episode from the trailer. Maybe it is, or a spirit version of them. But when you say that it's going to honor the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! And then you change the style this drastically,
It feels weird.
It's almost like you're spitting in the face of everyone who's
Right.
worked on the show previously.
Right.
Maybe they're paying homage. It's just the cards. Like they have the old cards in different designs.
Maybe.
Right. But
And
it's
that's
interesting.
their
Then it's a
tributes.
very different play style. So how is it? Well, it's to be determined.
TBD.
TBD.
So it's a good, and then as for the girl, Roman,
That's the one that plays in the band, right?
yeah, she's the guitarist, yeah. She doesn't enjoy dueling. In the trailer, she literally has a card box on her, holster on her hip. So clearly, she does duel. I think she's going to be, depending on what backstory they give her, maybe her family puts too much pressure on her, maybe she's like a prodigy duelist, I don't know. But, she'll be fine.
You're right.
I'm saying
Maybe
I
she
just-
doesn't like regular dueling, and then she starts dueling because of the rush duels.
Maybe,
Because this rush duel style is invented by our new pro tag.
Yeah,
So, it makes
yeah.
sense. It's like, hey, I did this thing. I know you don't like dueling, but
So
try
you should
it.
try
Yeah.
this, and then
Yeah.
maybe
And
she
she'd be
gets
like-
hooked,
Yeah.
And maybe that's like she loses an important duel because it's not a rush duel; it's a regular one, and she's not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Right?
I like
it.
I like
Thanks.
me likey.
Goose, love you, man.
Like-
Thank you.
Into the first story.
Excited to go into sevens with you, bro, and everyone who's gonna be watching.
Into the sevens.
We're not gonna start using that, dude. Or
Back
not.
to the meta.
Talking Yu-Gi-Oh!
Back in the
Sevens
meta.
up.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens needs to chaz it up.
7 up.
Sevens
Oh my
up.
God, 7 up.
Sevens up.
Well,
Sevens.
I understand.
That's-
Remember that game?
Yeah, dude.
Nick T was the kid that cheated and looked at the person's shoes.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Well, that's why whenever I played that game, I took my shoes off and my socks off.
Yeah.
So
Well, I can
walking
tell
around-
by your feet, though.
I was
know your
walking
feet
around
well
barefoot.
So then it was the one kid that was
Yeah.
barefoot.
enough. I also know Dylan's feet very well.
Why?
Next dono.
Next dono.
Legendary Duels donated $10.
Oh, JC.
Yo,
what's up?
my homeboy.
Yes. He said this is his disappointments. Number 1 being Soul Tech.
Yep.
Number 2, Yusaku's story,
Yep.
backstory.
Wow, he's okay.
3 is Human versus Revolver.
Mm-hmm.
4,
Yep.
more involvement with the lost incident victims.
Yes.
5, Go's entire development.
There you go.
There we go.
And 6 was Spectre season 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So we're in the same
A
ballpark.
bunch of stuff
yeah.
we touched
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
great list, Legendary.
That's like a combination of all of ours,
Yeah.
Pete included.
I feel like, the thing with Arc 5 is there was such a vast amount of things that, like, the lists were so different. I feel like when a disappointment list is so similar, I feel like that's probably good.
It's not a good
Because
show.
while there's things to be disappointed about, there's not that many where you can make a genuine argument for, like, having a different top 5 than most people.
Yeah.
So, thanks for sharing, man. I mean, I have no questions or qualms about that list. I feel like
No,
that's a
no,
very
definitely
fair
not.
list.
And that's a very good point. Like, if there's only
Like,
five
if-
to seven unanimous
Right.
between the 4 of us,
Right.
things that are technically our 5 biggest disappointments, then that means the show, for the most part,
It was enjoyable.
it was good. It didn't have a lot of disappointments. It had
Yeah.
a small, like, maybe you had trouble coming up with your 10. You're like, yeah, 9 and 10, they were disappointing, but it's not the end of the world, It's just something that you thought could have been better.
Yeah.
But, like, even when you get to the, like, for this, I feel like 5 is, like, the perfect one. Because after 5, for me, there's not that many things that were really, like, wow, I was super disappointed because of that.
Did you watch my top 10 disappointments video?
I did after I made my list.
Okay. So I'll just go over my top 10
Because I made my
real
list
quick.
like a month ago. And then I've just had it in my notes, and then
No.
I watched your video when you put it up.
Number 6 was The Night of Hanoi Spy.
Okay.
7 was The Queen of Soul Tech. 8 was the recaps early on. I'm surprised
Okay.
more people haven't brought up the recaps.
That would have been in like my
10.
6 to 10. Yeah.
9 was Owie's Eisen, and then 10 was Go Forward, and having only 3 openings.
Fair.
But mainly Go Forward just becoming so stale.
It's a meme.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go
Rarity.
forward.
We did not do this. We did like what? Things we wish we saw.
Oh,
I don't
Rarity's
think we
here?
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
She asked if we already did disappointments.
No,
No.
we did
Happen.
things we wished we saw, but not, or duels we wish we saw.
saw.
We
And
did
then something
duels we
else.
wish we saw, unanswered questions,
Unanswered
and
questions was it?
characters. The
Yeah.
last one we did was characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, unanswered questions, I guess, is similar.
Yeah, you
'cause
might be confused. Yeah.
in terms of like the Hanoi Spy, it's
We
like
probably brought
that
that
was
up,
something
yeah.
that was an unanswered question.
Sure.
Right.
And a couple, I guess Yusaku's backstory is an unanswered question.
There is
Yeah.
some overlap.
So,
like,
yeah, there's
with
some
more like
overlap
why
there.
did this happen? Like why certain things happen, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
Okay.
No.
Melinda is here again. Donated 10 pounds.
Oh,
Said,
shit, thank you, Melinda.
I'm back. I feel like it's been forever since I've been here for a stream. Hope everything has been good. Sending love and hugs if things
Aw.
have been rough. Bring on Yu-Gi-Oh!
So sweet.
7. Yeah, we'll see how it turns out.
That was Melinda, right?
Yeah,
that's-
yeah
that's
Melinda,
so
Melinda's
kind.
the best. Yeah, very, very sweet human being.
That made me very happy.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much. We'll see how 7s turns out. Hey, we're all optimistic.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm gonna buy a bunch of hats with 7s on them, or I'm gonna wear them.
I would wear that. Are you kidding?
I would
It's like,
wear
like the Chance the Rapper 3, but it's 7.
That's dope, actually.
Yeah, I would wear it too. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. It'll be a fun ride, I think, no matter what.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, I have faith.
Just
that
gotta,
it'll be.
strap in and get
gotta
ready,
have faith.
get ready to go.
Yeah, Nitro. 20
I love
degrees. Me too. But thank you,
Not in
Melinda.
20 degrees though. I don't think I would like it in 20.
So in December they did a promo that if you could ride Nitro, I think you would get into the park for free if you rode Nitro with just your shorts, no shirt.
That's not
in
true.
December. Yeah, it is. It's the polar plunge, I think they called it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing when people run into the ocean in like January.
Yeah.
Same type of idea.
So you would have to ride Nitro with no shirt
Oh my
and
God.
just in gym shorts.
It's like no, absolutely not.
I would do it.
I'll pay the $50 to get.
I would. This is like a genuine worry. I would feel like my nipples would fall off.
fall off. I don't
Like,
think
You're
it's
not
gonna
gonna.
fall off.
You
Fall
don't.
off.
You don't understand how bodies work.
No, I don't think you understand how bodies
Do you
work.
understand the human anatomy?
It's gonna be
Yeah.
cold,
No.
man.
I understand.
He
that.
more than anyone should understand the human anatomy, but I don't think he does.
Pete?
No.
Oh, he. Yeah.
Why-
he
wait,
should.
why would I?
Well, he understands the female anatomy a little
Yeah, I
better.
guess so.
But anyway, yeah. Thank you.
Just your reaction to that, like, Pete? No way. What do you mean?
Wait, I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. You didn't
Because I was
say it,
thinking,
but
like,
your
Pete?
face did.
Because I said he more than.
And you were
Yeah,
like,
and you're like,
Pete?
Pete?
I said Pete.
Yeah.
I didn't say no way.
You seem
Your
shocked.
face
Oh,
did. Your
no.
face
voice
said no
and your
way.
face said no.
No,
way.
now you guys are just
Yes.
putting words in my mouth.
I'm not
Melinda,
putting words in your mouth. I'm just saying what your face looked like.
Melinda, thank you very much.
And it wasn't good.
By the way, she thinks Nightmare Before Christmas is a bad movie.
What?
I never. Okay.
And
I
she's
never
she's never even
said
seen it.
it was a bad movie.
Bow.
I said that I have not watched it, and there's a very hard divide of people who really enjoy Disney. That like people are obsessed with Nightmare Before Christmas, or they don't like it. And I'm kind of in the middle because I haven't watched it yet.
You should
So
watch
don't
it.
throw me under the bus and say I hate it.
So you want to watch it later?
Good job.
Not really.
Exactly. She doesn't want to watch it. 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, but let me know what you think.
Bow.
Right.
It's really good.
We'll go to the next one.
It's really good.
I know it is. I'm sure it's very good.
Next
You know it is. You've
one.
never seen it either. so
I've
I
never
wanna
seen it
hear
either, but if a movie's got over 90% critics and audience on Rotten Tomatoes, I'll enjoy it.
Okay, so Frozen 2 is a bad movie?
Frozen 2's a good one. Frozen 2's a great movie. Why are you bringing that into this?
Because it doesn't have a bad score on Rotten Tomatoes.
No.
Is it under 80?
From critics, I think have it like 78, and then audience is in the 90s.
Yeah.
How is that bad? Is that bad to you?
No.
78?
No, you're saying
I
if
coasted
both-
through high school.
That's
at
a C
78.
no?
Yeah,
You're saying that both scores for Nightmare Before Christmas were above 90.
So he
it's
was
a
saying-
fantastic movie.
He's saying
No,
it
that's
should
what
be.
I'm
he would.
saying.
Yeah, it should be.
He's saying it should be a fantastic movie.
yeah. Thank
It
you.
doesn't mean it's a bad. It's
You know
one
what?
way, but not
You know what,
necessarily
Kate?
the other.
Okay, we're all gonna sit down one night and we are going to watch it because neither of you have seen it, and that's a crime in itself.
You've seen it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jack
dude.
Burton.
hundreds of times.
Shut the fuck up.
You're so annoying.
Otherwise known as Handsome Jack Burton.
Next,
Handsome Jack. You did all that. You went through all that to make a Borderlands joke.
If DJ was here, I think he would have stood up and punched me in the face. All right, next
So
dono.
that wasn't a JoJo reference.
It was not a joke.
Gracious. Next dono, the Fireball donated £2. Said
Thank
I am
you,
more
ma'am.
excited for Master Rule 5.
Sure, that's something to get excited about. Yeah,
I do not know what that means.
that's the they made the changes that you don't need links now to
Yeah.
play the other
Oh, yeah.
monsters. It's
Yep.
it's basically more excited for how the card game's gonna operate rather than the anime.
Gotcha.
Just fair. Thank you, Fireball.
It's a TCG reference.
Is it a TCG
OCJ.
reference, bro? OCJ?
Both, I guess.
Yeah.
The card game.
And the reason why I was laughing so hard because Nick T was like, I have no idea what that means. I'm like, that's me all the time. Oh my gosh. All right, Uncle Brian 81
Okay.
donated $10.
What's up?
Said, "Hey Dylan, just wanted to stop in and say hi.
Oh, thank you, man.
Aw.
Let you know I'm redoing my Yu-Gi-Oh marathon to honor my mom's memory since January 15th marks 14 years since she passed away."
Yeah.
Wow.
14 years.
That's a
Wow,
long
that is.
time.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a great tradition you got, man. And,
Yeah, that's a really good way to
yeah.
do it.
much love.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sure as it approaches this time of year, it
Yeah.
becomes difficult each year. But I give you all the strength that you may need in spirit.
Yeah, holidays. It doesn't matter how many years has passed. I feel like holidays are always tough.
Yeah.
Forever.
Without
Absolutely.
without someone.
So,
Mhm.
hey, we love you, man. Thank you for the donation, and yeah, peace be with you, man.
And also with you.
Lift up your heads.
Lift them up to the Lord.
I'm scared.
Just give him thanks and praise.
I don't know the rest. I haven't been to
That's
church.
it. That's all I got for
I haven't
you.
been to church in years.
I only go for like
Weddings.
stuff yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Latrell Smith donated $2.
Oh, Latrell.
Yo! What's up,
Uh,
man?
Great dude.
Next Jackbox stream when?
Dude.
Question mark.
Next time we do an After Dark one, maybe later this week. Maybe we'll do it Friday night even with
Okay,
DJ
sure.
here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
We have to figure out the delay thing or work around it at the very least. But
Yeah, probably
it'll
work
be-
around it.
Wait,
Yeah.
watching that was awesome. When you guys were doing
Oh,
that,
yeah,
I was
you liked
watching
it?
on my phone. It was so much. It was
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, it's a lot
It
of
was a
fun.
really good time.
Yeah.
I wish I could have played, but like I was on the train with my phone, so it was either watch
Well, you were
or
also
play and not watch the stream.
very, very inebriated.
Yeah. You don't remember?
I was
of
on
course
the-
he doesn't remember.
Damn it. Well, I was on the train. I'm trying to remember where
Every
I
time
was.
he's on the train late at night, I just assume he's drunk.
I don't remember where you were.
I don't remember where I
honestly.
was. That's why I'm
You were
trying
in
to-
NOLA.
I was in
No.
Disney. He wasn't
No.
in NOLA yet.
NOLA was gingerbread houses, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
No, I was here for that.
He was here for
Oh.
Disney.
And I had the best house and I lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how that
You
happened.
actually
You
came
were
in
robbed.
last.
Like we all collectively
No, that's not
agreed
true.
my house was
Yeah,
the
you came in
best,
last.
and I
I
came
came
in
in
dead
second.
last.
Yeah, that's right.
Latrell, anyway, thank you, man. Jackbox streams soon. I'll post updates in
Yes.
the
Drunk on
Discord.
the train.
I don't think so. We were just joking.
No, I think I was. Like I think you're right.
Next one. I can't help you recall these drunken nights.
Okay.
We'll be here for hours. We can dedicate a stream just to that.
Oh, wow.
The drunk train.
Sorry. Hi. It's me.
Hello.
Xthero
It's me.
donated some Mexican pesos. And this was back to the donation from before. Said best boy Dylan then for now.
Oh, that's fine. Ax, I was just kidding. You did not have to donate.
Yeah.
I
defended you.
love you a lot. Thank you.
Joseph Tedisco donated $5.
Thank you, Joe.
Said they also teased a duel between Soulburner and Spectre that went nowhere, and
Yeah.
that is
Bless you.
also a disappointment for
Thank
me
you.
as well.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree.
Bless you.
I
Again,
agree.
that's more to Spectre's character too, where that would have been a very big duel for him and for Soulburner.
Definitely.
Spectre says you get in our way, and I'll have to take you out.
Yeah.
He does get in the way. He duels Revolver, but Spectre was nowhere to be found at that point. Yeah, it's disappointing. Definitely disappointing. That's something that I always forget. There's so many little details that just never were followed up with, and that was a big one. So thank you for the donation, Joseph, and that is a very good point. Definitely a duel that I wish we saw.
Agreed.
Nick T, I might need your help with this.
Mm-hmm.
That one there.
Oh, Mesayoku.
Mesayoku.
Mestioku, love him.
Mesayoku. Okay. Donated $5.
Thank you, Mesta.
Said you're almost halfway to the Bandit Keith cosplay. Let's see if you can get there before 7 starts.
Wait,
Hold
what
on.
was the goal for the...
I was under the impression that Bandit Keith cosplay was at 75 or 80. Someone else said it was at 70, but I was at 75, 80. I'm
I
pretty
thought
sure.
it was at 65.
It's not at 65, no. I'm almost positive.
I thought it was we landed on a sweet 69. I thought.
No,
that was
we did
where-
not. I'm not sick like you. I would not have chosen 69 as the milestone. I think it was either
It was
75.
a great year.
That
I don't.
was so aggressive.
I think it was
summer
I'm
of
not
69.
sick like
Yeah,
you.
I thought we were referencing the Bryan Adams hit.
Summer of 69.
Yeah, of course.
I don't listen to Overrated.
Excuse me.
Anyway, 75. I think I don't remember.
That's the
You
only says I
can't
thought it
come-
was
yeah,
70.
70K. Mm-hmm.
Someone pull up the clip.
If someone finds me saying 70, otherwise it's 75.
No.
Huh?
Well, because anyway, you know what, Mesta? Thank you. No, actually, Nina, it's funny that you say that because I'm gonna reach out to you and Christina. Like, I'll commission something like that'll be a legitimate Bandit Keith cosplay. So I do plan to. I was gonna talk to you about that. Next time we spoke.
That'd be so sick.
But yeah, I'm gonna commission like an actual cosplay from 2 of the best cosplayers we have. Hopefully, I'm gonna have them on in late February. The cosplaying side of the Yu-Gi-Oh community is massive, and it's a side that I feel like doesn't really get as much attention, especially like on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna hopefully have Christina and Nina on, 2 really great cosplayers.
Are they in the area?
Kind of interview them. They're down in
You have to-
Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Yeah, so
down.
In Pa.
They're in Pennsylvania. I don't want to give away their
Yeah, yeah.
exact location.
Oh,
You want me
This
to
is their
Gotcha,
address.
gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I get what you're saying.
Dough we knocking on?
But yeah. So so that'll be fun. But yeah, okay. Either way, thank you, Mesta. Appreciate it. And geez, you guys are really donating incredibly. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
seriously,
You
what's
really,
going on?
Really, thank you. Really, never have anything to say.
Dylan's losing his words.
I
Yeah. Came back and Mesta came back, donated $2 again.
Thank you.
Said I thought Pete was just doing a bit.
That's hysterical that people believe that it could have been Pete actually
Yeah.
there. I think that's great.
He's just sitting there like
It's
this.
doing a bit.
That's a true testament to Dylan's editing skills.
Let's all do it. Though we have to smile too.
Hold on. Is it this hand?
Yes, that hand. All right, someone screen cap that. And did you have an open mouth smile?
No. Oh no!
you have to do
do
it
it again.
over
Do it
now.
again. Sorry.
Open mouth.
I have a.
It's,
All right,
you have to
3, 2. All right, someone screenshot that. I might make that my YouTube channel banner.
Amazing. Cal's stuck.
Come on.
God.
Jeez, we almost lost him there. We almost lost
I
him.
was in a trance.
Pete chimed in. I hate you all.
We love you, Pete. We love
Oh
you.
my
Let me
God.
look at it. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that is awesome.
Someone's got to screenshot that. I guess,
That was so good. That was so good.
holy shit.
Oh my god.
I love how like you guys stop and the both of us are just still. It's like wait, is Cal still here?
No.
The new YouTube banner.
I'm okay. I'm dying.
All
It's
right.
alright.
Next donation.
Next donation.
Yes.
It was Mesta Yoku again. Donated $2 and said maybe it's a Kaiba man retrain.
Yeah, Kaiba man.
Yo, it could be Kaiba. Man.
Listen, everyone's making fun of Sevens. Seto Kaiba is going to be in the first episode, so I want to know what people think about that.
I think it's great.
I think it's great for business.
Yeah.
Listen,
If
Seto
anyone knows
Kaiba.
business, it's Seto Kaiba.
If anyone knows business, it's Konami
And Calibra.
And Calibra, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
Seto Kaiba. Now, when he shows up in the first episode, I'm not gonna lie, I might cry.
I wouldn't blame
If
him.
it's Seto Kaiba, I might shed a tear.
Now I
Just
hope
one?
it's to like a ballad. Like he walks out, and it's like a soft song, so
Yeah.
it gets your emotions.
Yeah, it's like
going.
Selena Gomez's Ghost of You or something like that.
Classic.
Honestly,
Yeah.
very.
Yeah.
And it's a hologram. It's not even him.
Right. Well,
the
that
ghost of him.
It's the ghost of Seto Kaiba.
Right.
Listen, look, I'm excited for Kaiba to be in VRAINS. I don't know about you guys. I mean, Sevens. I'm all over the place. But Mestayoku, love you. Maybe it'll be Kaiba, man. Who knows? I'm mostly joking, by the way. Mostly.
Man.
But I'm going to keep this
Kaiba,
joke
man.
up until it's absolutely not him, which we won't know for another 2.5.
Does
That's
whatever Kaiba can.
Next one?
Next one. Rex Kendricks donated more Colombian pesos.
Thank you, Rex.
Jeez.
Said Yoshida confirmed to return as last crew member.
It could happen.
Hey, listen.
Anything.
It'll never happen.
I thought you said you.
And how do you know that?
I'll tell you something. I'm friends with Shin Yoshida. I
Right.
genuinely know him.
Right.
But he's not. He's already told me he's not working on Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's
7s.
fine, but he could still be a crew. Because you know him, he could show up as a crew member.
Oh, like to our
crew.
Oh yeah, he could be in our crew.
Yeah, all of a sudden that name Pete is just gonna start fading off the screen, and it's just
Shin.
gonna say Yoshida.
Shin. Listen. I don't say this to a lot of people. Shin Yoshida always has a seat here.
Of course.
Always has an invite, and I mean that.
So if you ever want to show up,
Shin Yoshida, you got an
Yes,
invite. Rex, thank you, man. Wow.
Matthew Kennedy donated $5.
Matt.
Thank you,
Matt.
Matt.
Everyone watched Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans for Best Gundam Ever, Gundam Barbados, and Love Best Girl Atra.
Of course.
Yes.
I love that he said it again. I love
Yeah,
it.
we love you, dude. We do. Thank you so much, man. Make my day every day. You
Love it.
say it.
We love Atra.
Melinda donated £2 and
Yes.
said, Nick T, my homeboy, everything is a JoJo reference.
Everything is a JoJo.
Have you
reference.
seen the JoJo video where they're playing Uno?
No.
That
It
should
is
watch it though.
A JoJo.
It's absolutely incredible. It's all my likes. If you go to my Twitter and you go to my likes, I don't like many things. I liked it from this morning. Incredible.
I have to
Where
watch
like they genuinely like sit down and someone perfectly edited them playing JoJo with different subtitles. Not JoJo. Someone edited them playing Uno with
So they were
subtitles.
playing a different card game, but they.
No, they were just sitting down, I think, having a conversation, him and Dio, and the main villain.
Right.
And they're just, instead they have Uno.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's the most phenomenal thing I've ever seen in my life. So definitely check that out.
Then Matthew Kennedy donated $2 and said, all who praise Gundam, text Gundam in the chat.
Yeah, which
there
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
people
there
did.
were a lot of
There was a
Gundams
lot.
in the
Oh,
chat.
boy.
Some great support.
Matt, thank you, dude.
And then Linda donated £2 again. Said,
Yeah, Melinda.
Barbados is love, Barbados is life.
Always.
Yeah, I feel
Very
like because
true.
of all of you, I do have to watch Iron Blooded
You
Orphans.
should. It's very good.
Yeah, I gotta do it. So thank you, Melinda. And Matthew. You guys rock.
Matt even got Goose to watch it, and
Goose. Oh,
Goose liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Nando GX donated $2.
Thank you, Nando.
Said VRAINS ending early for sevens is disappointing.
Yeah, again, I don't believe that it ended early for sevens. I think there's a different reason that it ended early. The main reasoning for that is it's two completely different studios.
Yeah.
They easily could have said to Gallup, you're finishing until March, but we're going to move most of... Well, and it's not even like there's the same animators. It's a completely different team that's working on sevens. Different writers, besides the guy that does the dual scripting, but he easily could have been doing both. So the narrative that VRAINS ended early because of sevens is just, I don't think it's substantial enough to say. Yeah, it's
possible.
VRAINS ended early, but it wasn't because of sevens. I was more because of Studio Gallup. I think their financial trouble and their financial well-being more than anything
else.
else.
But I can understand if you don't like the way sevens looks, being disappointed that it ended early and this is what we're getting. Because,
of course.
Right.
And if it was Studio Gallup, if it was the same studio, then I think there's more substance there to say, it seems like they did transfer all their resources to sevens, but it's two different studios.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
So I don't buy into that whole, oh man, I can't believe VRAINS ended for this.
Well, that was
VRAINS ended early for something else, which sucks.
That was a big thing we were saying when we found out it was going to end early at first. Remember, we're like, they must be already working on the next show, and that's probably why.
Which they were, but it's a different studio.
But it was a different studio, so then at the end of the day, they didn't really correlate as much as it could have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But thank you, Nando.
Matthew Kennedy donated $2 and said, Colin Cleves, I will fight you.
I hope whatever fight that was has been resolved.
Yeah,
peacefully.
Matthew Kennedy and Bam would get into some great fights.
Oh, it's great.
Oh my God, those two would just go at it. Jeez, Matthew, love you, man. No fighting, please.
Yeah, keep it PG.
Yeah, well, actually, because
G.
of
keep it R, but keep it clean.
Oh God.
Okay, just read the next dono that just came out before you keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, it's related.
All right, I'm going. Minister of Gunham donated $5, said Colin Cleves, time and place, and which funeral home you want to go to. I want to go to the city morgue with the rest of the crazies.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, what?
Alright, let's keep this,
It's getting dark, quick.
What did Colin even say? Was he just like, did he say...
I don't see anything. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't see,
Matt, is Matt just talking to someone?
Okay, wait, I'm going back up. Hold on.
Holy shit. Well, Matt, thank you for the donation.
Well, yeah, Matthew Kennedy also donated $5 prior to that, but
yeah, I'm keeping it
retracted.
I'm keeping an eye on Kappa, Lava Quill, but I think I'll be fine. YouTube hasn't flagged any of my videos. I truly believe that my content is geared towards people over at the age of 13.
Mostly because you focus on the sub rather than
I focus on the sub, and also I focus things analytically from a boring analytical perspective that I feel like only older people will appreciate. I'm not like, and Yugioh is so cute, and I liked when he did that. You know, I'm not talking like that with like that style.
It would be like if it was my channel.
Right, exactly.
It would be adorable.
So, no. I'm not worried. Kappa doesn't scare me. They can.
Say it loud and proud.
Yep.
I was gonna make shirts. The FTC can Kappa's nuts, and then you talked me out of it.
No, I said you should do
Well,
it.
you said you felt it was a bad idea because it's a law that is supposed to protect underage children.
Oh, so
Yeah,
oh,
be a little bit iffy on that.
Yeah. It would be in poor taste.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I forgot I said that. Yeah, that's true.
And that's why I would never go through it.
I feel a little icky.
You can change it to Kappa's hands.
Well,
then you're threatening
Or you
children
could just
with violence.
Copy these and then just put pictures of nuts. So you're not actually saying.
Oh, like
the word.
Kappa's peanuts.
Yeah. Because then you
Not
can throw it up like I just.
You think the
I
FTC
want you
would
to
like
take
that?
Some of my nuts.
Yes.
You think the government would like that?
Yeah, I don't think it's about the government liking it or not. It's about implicating or implying.
But he's not talking to the children.
Of course I'm not talking about the children. I'm talking about the government
He's
officials.
talking
Right,
about
but
It's all
So
about
he's
the
saying-
children.
He's saying,
But it's a law
government-
involving children. See, I don't want the word nuts and anything to do with children
I agree
in the
with
same
you.
place.
Well, that's why I didn't do it. That's why I didn't make those shirts.
That's my point. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the government likes it or
No,
not.
that's why I didn't make those shirts,
Yeah.
obviously.
Nick T's nuts.
My channel will be fine. It's fine.
Yeah, and it would be D's nuts for the record. Yeah, of course.
D's.
But it's not happening.
Are we done with donations?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost caught up here.
Well, thank you guys so much. It's been an insane night. And then we'll just go around and just quickly talk about sevens for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Linda donated £5.
Thank you, Linda.
Said, when I do eventually join y'all for a stream, I will be wearing a Yuzu cosplay.
Ooh,
That'd be so
That's
sick.
amazing. Now,
That'd be a far.
now, if Melinda does come out, which hopefully you do, because
my
we all
God, I
want
would
you
be
to,
so stoked.
it would be amazing.
Yeah.
She would be the. I want to just make sure I'm not missing anyone. The first guest on this live stream that
Came internationally.
came internationally.
Yeah.
That's true, right?
Yeah, that'd be.
That's
yes,
true.
Yeah.
The farthest right now is Ute, who was in Cali.
You're right.
So that's west
and
to
then
east
Jesse
coast.
would be.
Rarity.
Rarity would be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't say where, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I would never.
I know. And then
classic.
And then Jesse. Yeah, but still, either way, we've had a lot of people come from. Actually,
no. Bam is second. Bam's from Texas. Bam is second.
Yes,
Bam
you're
is
right.
Yeah, Bam. So we've had people, but never anyone internationally. So hey,
never
we'd
over the pond, as they say.
love to have you on, Melinda. Love to have you on.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Thank you for the donations.
Liz W donated $2 and said, suggestion, Pictionary After Dark stream.
Yo,
That would be dope.
I like that.
I love
I
that
love that
idea.
idea.
Now
We'd get into all sorts of antics.
Ceiling camera.
We've tried to think of what
Yeah.
we do. Maybe.
Well, I think if I ran it through the tile, like the wire.
we do have tiles that could work.
It'd be so janky, but it'd be sick.
Well, what
It
if
would,
what if you have 2 cameras, right?
yeah, I have
Do you
to.
know when you do the card stuff
Yeah.
and you have the one camera that's face down in your
Yeah.
hands? So if one person's drawing
But like I could, yeah.
and
do,
you
like,
can
the
display that
angles.
camera on the screen,
Yeah, you're right. No, that's true. We could do that.
right?
We'll figure it out. I like that idea, Liz. You're good.
That'd be a lot of
Appreciate it. You're great.
fun. The home girl.
And then to end it, well, actually, no. Divsy donated $2 and said, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you,
Happy New Year,
Dibsy.
Div.
Thank you so much.
Yep, Happy New Year to
Dude,
you.
And
Happy
that
New Year.
wraps it up.
No,
No.
there's
Happy,
one
happy
more
New
from
Year.
Matthew Kennedy for
Oh.
$5.
Matthew.
Said, Colin, you disgraced Gundam, so therefore you have signed your death warrant.
Well, hey, you know what? I don't advocate it, but I'm not going to say anything against it.
Yeah.
Oh
God. Matt, we love you. Thank you. Colin, we love you too, for the record.
Yeah, I hope you're being
Good
safe.
luck.
So thank you to everyone who donated. Really amazing. Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, we've already kind of touched on it. Everyone here, how are you genuinely feeling about it?
Very good.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm going to very positively. Even though there may be a year or two difference in age, I still compare it to, Gundam Build Fighters. No, it's okay. Build Fighters. Where, those are like middle school like age kids, and like the series was really enjoyable. There was a lot of fun tie-ins. The plot was good. There was some good like slice of life comedy. Like it was done really well. And if this is anywhere near that, I'm gonna love it.
Oh, is it my turn?
I'm looking at you.
I'm excited. I'm always going to go in with a positive outlook on it, and I think that, like, just basing it off the age of the characters is tough to do. I understand it might be harder to relate maybe to the characters as much, but you can almost just get a nostalgia factor from the fact that, like, the kids are doing kid things, and you're like, wow, like, I remember when I was a kid and did stuff
Sure.
like that, or made stupid mistakes like that. And I feel like at first that might not draw you in, but as you're watching and you start to like connect with them, I feel like they'll probably be easier to connect to than Yusaku was,
Yeah.
even though they're a lot younger. Like I think overall I'm excited, and having a new duel style and stuff like that, it brings just this change and this new aspect that nobody really knows much about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I'm going into a show where everything is like, hey, Dill, what's that? And you know everything about it. I'm going in and we're both kind of learning these new things at the same time.
Yeah, that's the aspect that I like, not knowing what's going to happen,
right,
what the
always,
story is going to be.
I think it's hard to hate something that, it's also easy to hate something you know nothing about. But for me, keeping an open-minded perspective, it's hard to truly hate something I've almost no clue about. You know, I just know the art style and like the protagonist is young.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I can't see like hating it already.
Yeah.
Can't hate the plot.
It
if you
can't
don't
prove
know
that. Yeah, it can't. It hasn't proved itself in a way that makes me hate it.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, I'm definitely disappointed about a few different things, but I'm going in at the same optimism that I had for VRAINS and all the other shows. Maybe not at the same level of excitement,
Sure.
but same level of optimism that it's going to turn out to be really, really good.
Agreed.
And I'm excited to make content on it and talk to everyone who goes through the journey. Kate, what do you think about it?
I'm very excited.
This is your first Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched like 20 episodes of VRAINS.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before,
But that was just
you made good progress.
So you got a little appetizer.
Exactly. I got a
Now
little
you're ready
taste
for
for
dinner.
it.
Some hors d'oeuvre,
Exactly.
as they
I'm
say.
ready. I'm
Yeah.
ready for the 3-course meal, like the whole.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Everything.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. I have an open mind, and with not having the past of watching Yu-Gi-Oh, I feel like it's better for me too because I don't have all of the prior shows and expertise and everything behind it.
Right.
Where I have I feel like even more of an open mind.
That's true.
That's a
Going
good
into
perspective.
it,
Yeah,
too.
clean slate. That is a good way to
I was
go
gonna say
into
it's a
it.
blank
Right?
canvas.
I like that.
Exactly.
And you kind of alluded into the final point I'm going to make. I've seen a lot of people say that for them Yu-Gi-Oh's dead, Yu-Gi-Oh's over, which is fair if you feel that way. And there will be people that I talk to a lot on a very regular, consistent basis for the last 3 years throughout VRAINS, maybe even the last 6 years throughout Arc 5 and VRAINS, that I probably will never hear from again. I think there are going to be a good amount of people that I don't hear from again. And to everyone that's been here through VRAINS, through Arc 5, that is not going to be going into Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, thank you for everything. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the conversations. And it's sad, but at the same time, I understand how it works, and it's fandom. And I also understand that there's people that I have never spoken to before that are going to become regulars.
Absolutely.
That are going to become people that are watching 7s and have not watched Arc 5 or VRAINS.
Yeah.
Or have not watched anything since Zexor, or have not watched anything Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever.
Right.
And maybe they're huge card fight and buddy fight fans exclusively, and this style appeals to them more than the traditional Yu-Gi-Oh! Style that appeals to all of us. So, it's upsetting, but it's also, you have to understand how fandoms work.
I think it has the potential to breathe new life into not only the show, but the fandom itself.
Well, that's exactly it, and that's what their goal is
I
to do.
agree with that too.
Yeah. So,
I do want to say one thing because
Yes.
it caught my attention and I love it very much. Lava Quill said Yuga's hairstyle, although it's almost normal, reminds me of the kid from Ape Escape. I love and loved Ape Escape so very much.
that's a fun mobile game.
What? Is there a mobile game?
This sounds like a mobile game.
No, it was a very real game for the PlayStation and PlayStation, or actually maybe all a PlayStation 2. Ape Escape 3 I played religiously, and I love that series.
That's awesome. Yeah,
You literally catch monkeys with nets.
I gotta look up the
It's
protagonist
so
from
good.
that, but
Yeah, it's so
that's
good.
I gotta look
I have
that
to
up.
bring up a good point as well. Shadow Realm said, "Don't worry, I'm here for you all. Mostly Cal though, not just Yu-Gi-Oh."
Well, that's
That's me
fine.
right here too.
Yeah, that's why I do this, just to see him.
Yeah.
Um,
Otherwise, he'd be hanging out, getting drinks, and
so are we done?
We have a couple more donos. to
Okay,
wrap things up.
bang them out real quick.
Rex Kendrick donated some Colombian
Pesos, thank you,
Yep,
Rex.
thank you. Said, looks like Pete is still waiting for his New Year's toast.
he'll get it.
Oh yeah, it looks like he's got a
Hello,
cup.
yeah,
Yeah,
clink.
cup, like, clink.
Wait, let's see.
That's
It's like I don't
Clink.
know how far in I have to go to make it look like that.
Well, we gotta wait.
Well,
yeah,
that's
Probably, like,
good. But
down
thank you,
lower,
Rex.
yeah.
Thank you.
Then lower.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
fine.
think you're doing a very good job.
Next
Nancy.
donation.
Next dono, Linda donated £2 and said, you thought Rex was the last dono, but it was I.
That was
Now we're getting to a
that was a JoJo reference.
Is that really?
Oh yeah. Melinda, thank you.
Then Nando GX donated $5 and said, love the franchise since I was a little kid and still play the card game. Seeing the new show is disappointing to me, but that's my opinion.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's fair. 100%.
And everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Exactly.
And you
And
might end up liking it. Like it's if you're like I don't know if you're gonna if you plan on watching it, maybe you're disappointed, but you're like, hey, I'll give it a shot. And I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah, I
Well,
definitely.
that's fair though to be disappointed.
Yeah, I
But-
can't fault you for your initial reaction to be disappointment. Absolutely not. It could have been mine.
I mean, if you
but-
watch the Jump Fest, almost everyone was like,
Yeah.
wait,
Dylan was-
that's it.
I walked off camera.
Walked
Yeah.
off camera. That was before I got here.
Pete's got a picture of me laying on the floor over
Back
there,
there.
just like
Yeah.
this.
I have a picture of you.
I mean,
I don't know where it came from, but a view with your shirt over your face and like this.
I don't know where that came from either.
I have it
but,
right here.
Dylan like blacked out during the stream because of that. His mind. Just
Listen. I was
What does this look
genuinely.
like to you?
It looks like my shirt over my face. Listen, I was genuinely disappointed initially.
Can I see
So
that?
I understand. And hey, I mean to change the art style like that, it
It's big.
sucks.
Yeah.
So I get it.
But it could be a good thing.
As long as the story's good,
We'll
I'll be
see.
happy.
That's the way I look at it. I'm like, it could end up still being a good
As long
thing.
as the story's fun, I'll be happy.
True.
But thank you, Nando. And you're completely right to have that opinion.
Absolutely. To wrap it up, Nicholas Horton donated £5.
Thank you, Nick.
Said, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year,
to
Nick.
you.
Happy New Year.
And said, I'm going to give Sevens a chance for the plot.
Good.
That's what's up.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I always get excited when someone that, when anyone that, like, I talk to a lot or that I enjoy speaking with says, yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Even if
I
it's
hope
just-
I hope we can retain as much, dialogue as possible going into Sevens. If, like you said before, it would suck to lose who we've been talking to, but it'd be fun to have new people. But whoever we can continue dialoguing with will be really cool.
Dialogue with everyone.
Electric Kevin brings up a good point. The backlash for Sun and Moon when that anime design came out was people hated it.
Really?
And as he said, the backlash was worse than the backlash has been for
Really?
Sevens, which I'm not too involved in the Pokemon community to be able to say that's definitely true or not, but I take your word for it, Kevin. And I've heard, as Sun and Moon went on, I've heard nothing but good things about it, that it was a very enjoyable show. So you just never know. Don't judge a book by its cover. But anyway, guys, thank you to everyone who donated. You guys literally made my entire day. First video/live stream of 2020. First live stream we have done in about 3 weeks. So hopefully we'll be back on the grind. I'm sure we will be. Still have 2.5 months of filler arc, but we should be getting more Sevens news within the next 10 days. Calibro, Pete, Nick T, and Kate, thank you guys so much for joining me. Anything you want to promo or shout out real quick?
Yeah, I want to shout out my friend Dylan. He's got this Yu-Gi-Oh channel, and if you guys want to watch it, definitely check it out. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh Everything.
Dude, that was cool.
It's good, right?
I'll shout out myself again because it seems like the timetable keeps on changing. Record is probably not going to come out till the beginning of April because it's still not done, but keep an eye out. Beginning of April. Maybe an April Fool's joke. We'll see.
Ooh.
Right when Sevens comes out.
Also, one of my closest music friends, Brian, is putting out one of the best records I've ever heard. January 10th. The band's name is Grin and Bear. The album is called Be Gentle. Check it out. I love it dearly. If you don't like it, that's fine, but it's really good.
Check it out.
Grin and Bear, Be Gentle.
Check it out.
Anything? We love you all. Thank you all so much for watching. Hey, long live Yu-Gi-Oh! Going into 2020. Hope you all had a great Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you might celebrate. Love you all. Thank you all so much for watching. And I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you.